There must be a connection between the two. Killing a nascent fierce soul grants plus 12,000 wraith points. At that moment, a paper flew out from the eerie figure's corpse. It's a medical record from the 3rd ward. He obtained this before, but that one was from the 7th ward. Jiang Chen didn't want to let the tiger escape back to the mountain. He immediately summoned his half-spirit beasts. 2 wolf cubs lunged at the eerie figure in midair. After a fierce bite, the strange entity ultimately couldn't escape, and severely injured it. Even though it evolved into a proto-fiend, it still couldn't harm Jiang Chen in the slightest. But its intelligence has clearly increased. Knowing he couldn't win, he fled. The eerie energy on its body surged violently. Warning: the opponent has evolved into a proto-fiend. Jiang Chen was also caught off guard. It's the first time he's seen an entity break through during battle. However, Jiang Chen had already destroyed all its treasures. After the artifacts were destroyed, the strange creature became much easier to handle. Jiang Chen's final shockwave seriously injured the creature. Just as he was about to land the finishing blow, the creature's head suddenly flipped. The bell-shaped treasure was the first to shatter. After removing the speed restriction, he hurriedly activated the life magic of the Wolf of Kuei Wood, Wild Wolf Hunt. He attacked several magical artifacts. This strategy was very successful. His speed was also restricted. Helplessly, he had no choice but to activate the Kuei Nyo drum. Originally, it was a trump card reserved for this strange form. But now, he had to use it to break through these magical treasures. Under the effect of the Kuei Nyo drum pushing him towards the strange attack, the most troublesome thing was the bell. It had sonic attacks. Under the influence of the sound waves, Jiang Chen's only advantage of speed, the bullets fired from the water gun were incredibly powerful. The Rubik's Cube could defy the laws of physics, forcefully distorting Jiang Chen's attacks. For a moment, he could only keep dodging. But that starfish toy would latch onto Jiang Chen. The strange creature realized it couldn't engage in close combat. So, it pulled out 4 toys from its pocket. The 4 toys grew larger in the wind. They transformed into 4 magical artifacts. Each had its own unique function. If he hadn't used the transformation card in time, he might have ended up killing himself. He didn't expect such a strong presence among the blood-clothed anomalies. However, he had already used the 3-star transformation card. Kuemu Wolf briefly gained the upper hand. You actually murdered an innocent family of 3. No wonder a freak like you became an orphan. You don't deserve to have a family at all. Strange and hateful, he struck. This blow startled Jiang Chen. Then, after throwing Zhang Xiaohao off the building, you made his father commit suicide. Afterwards, you treated their spirits as your family. Are you an orphan? That desperate for love, just for your selfish desires? After doing all this, a small figure emerged from the darkness. It seems you are the culprit. First, you used Devil May Cry to control Zhang Xiaohao's father, and harmed his mother. But the matter is far from over. Jiang Cheng sensed a more terrifying aura approaching him. He turned the flesh spirit mushroom into a bamboo dragonfly. He sent Hong Jia away. In the upcoming battle, he wouldn't be able to intervene at all. Jiang Chen suddenly remembered that he hadn't used the strengthened bull bone yet, so he desperately reached for the artifact at his waist, accompanied by a drumbeat. Zhang Xiaohao felt as if he was being targeted by an ancient ferocious beast. The next second, he turned to dust under Kuei Nyo's gaze. The stronger the control. Moreover, this characteristic can be contagious. For a moment, Jiang Chen and Hong Jia were completely unable to break free from this control. The two were exchanging blows fiercely. They were entangled with each other. Zhang Xiaohua chuckled. This is my ability. Block controller. As long as a block is planted on someone, it can control that part. The larger the block, 2 energy forces collided. But Sister Hong's arm was hit first. She suddenly realized that 2 Lego toys had appeared on her wrist where she was struck. The next second, her body uncontrollably attacked Jiang Chen. A similar square also appeared on Jiang Chen's injured arm. So he took Hong Jia back to find Zhang Xiaohao. Little did anyone know, the boy's state had already changed. A Lego brick had appeared in the crack on his head. A great battle was about to begin. Sister Hong was the first to unleash her secret dual art, attacking Zhang Xiaohao. Using the palm thunder, he continuously struck the bizarre entity. After a round of attacks, Jiang Chen earned over 1,000 again. These ghostly attributes are just appetizers. The mission introduced that little boy as the round-headed bizarre entity. Then he suddenly gathered his strength and smashed the head directly towards Jiang Chen. This stitched monster could actually control its body at will. It seems that ordinary physical attacks don't have much effect on him. Then he switched attack modes. The two of them were mashed together like clay. With a soft sound, they evolved into a new life form. Jiang Chen swung his knife and slashed. Unexpectedly, this bizarre thing caught the thrown head. Her husband was by her side. When she saw Jiang Chen kill her brother, she roared and rushed forward to avenge him. His body slowly came apart at the seams, then suddenly charged toward the man beside him. But before he could show his strength, he was killed by Jiang Chen with a single blow. This strange creature is too weak. The same incident. That woman covered in stitches appeared, but who knew they wouldn't cooperate? We need to end this fight quickly. If we make too much noise, his family will definitely come running to share a piece of the action. As soon as that was said, the man realized he had been exposed. His entire body turned into sludge. I intended to lure the two of them away to have a private meal. The more powerful a ghost is, the better the disguise. In other words, if you can see flaws in this one, it must be a weakling. Of course it smells bad, because he's a ghost. The two of them stopped walking. Jiang Chen started giving on-the-spot instructions to Hong Jie. You need to know, as he led the two of them outside. After they got out, Hong Jie quietly asked Jiang Chen if he felt there was something strange about this guy. He has a foul smell on him. Jiang Chen shifted his gaze to the man's legs. The man quietly opened the door. Just a crack. They're asleep. Let's run, he said. The dining experience afterwards was very pleasant, so we'll just skip over that. Back in the room, Hong Jie was completely unable to sleep. Jiang Chen confidently assured her to wait peacefully. Before long, once the food was served, even someone with Jiang Chen's patience felt a bit nauseous. The dinner prepared by this family turned out to be some broken branches and debris. The man from earlier came over again. These are all parts of intruders like us. I also accidentally got involved with that crazy woman before. She insisted I was her family. Please, take me out of here. The man wanted to say something more, but a voice from the kitchen called out that dinner was ready. The next day, this mother appeared. That's why he said the woman is not entirely his mother. After saying this, the little boy ran to the kitchen to help his mother prepare dinner. At this moment, the uncle leaned over and quietly remarked, "Look at the two of them acting like ghosts. Don't believe anything they say." He whispered to Jiang Chen. This woman is not entirely his mother. In his memory, Dad chopped him into pieces and threw him into a box full of severed limbs. The younger brother had a gaping wound on his forehead. The mother's body was covered in stitches. Even the uncle, who seemed the most normal, could only shrink timidly in the corner. Jiang Chen felt that this whole family looked very off. At this moment, the little boy pulled him aside. The two continued to wander around the neighborhood. As they passed a room with the lights on, they suddenly heard someone inside calling out the name Zhang Xiaohai. Finally found the place. Zhang Xiaohai is the boy who jumped off the building. That strange creature actually stepped on its companion's head. It turns out that one of the strange creature's abilities is to turn its head into a landmine. This shows that the secret technique of Kuei Do is to deprive luck. After praising Hong Jie to let Sister Hong practice a bit, this is his first time using the return combat secret technique against an enemy, but his palm strike from a distance strangely has no effect on the opponent. Just as the two are puzzled, in the chaotic fight, she almost hits Jiang Chen. He has no choice but to unleash all his firepower. First, deal with those two minor characters. When there's only one little ghost left in the venue, he quietly steps aside. The little girl lying on the ground is determined to seek revenge on Jiang Chen. A fierce battle is unavoidable. Jiang Chen protects Hong Jie. At the same time, he fights against the strange opponent. Hong Jie is not skilled in using energy. The process of exorcising ghosts is roughly like this. Hong Jie, do you want to practice? As soon as the words were spoken, three little ghost heads popped out from somewhere. They obviously know each other. Jiang Chen gave her a hit to the head. Directly lift his skull. Jump rope ghost death. Ghost energy plus 600. He clapped his hands, turned the spirit mushroom into a shield and stood on it. The little girl could only accept defeat. She let Jiang Chen hit her in the head. In her heart, she was already planning what kind of game to come up with to take him down next. Unfortunately, she didn't have the chance. The girl drawing the ghosts had planned it all along. Even if Jiang Chen manages to stand firm on the last square, she would still push him from behind. It's just a pity that Jiang Chen never plays by the rules. When he jumped to the last square, the two are about to play hopscotch. The winner gets to flick the other's forehead. Simple rules, but secretly dangerous. The final square of the hopscotch is right at the edge of the rooftop. Walking right into the trap of a strange subordinate. The reason for thinking this is simply because this little girl isn't human at all. The three of them soon arrived at a rooftop marked with grids. The little girl excitedly introduced the game rules. A little girl said she wanted to play a game with them. Jiang Chen didn't resist. She obediently followed him into the the building. Sister Hong felt a bit puzzled. Is this really the process for catching ghosts? Look at the mission briefing. It was just a simple case of a child drawing ghosts. Jiang Chen didn't think much of it. He took Sister Hong to the village where the incident happened. As soon as they entered the community, and wasn't well liked. His parents and younger sister all died mysteriously. He was later adopted by his uncle. Not long after, his uncle's family also died in an accident. In the end, he jumped off a building and committed suicide. This trip was also meant to broaden his horizons. After all, Sister Hong also trained in the family's secret Quidditch techniques. Letting him encounter supernatural events earlier will benefit his growth. So Jiang Chen took on a sea-level mission. The deceased had a reclusive personality. Watching the graceful figure of the Wheel King on the screen, Jiang Chen wondered when he would ever possess such power. Although he couldn't beat the big ones, he could at least bully the smaller ones. He brought Hongjie to a deserted rooftop. Follow closely and stay on track. Which Demon King do you want to see slain next? Feel free to leave a comment. The live stream is over. The only regret is not witnessing the battle between the two top-level masters. The aftermath of the battle between two great masters was like a natural disaster. No one knew how much time had passed. A massive human head was thrown. On shore, the family launched 100 cloud-piercing arrows to slash the king. They meant what they said. You won't be able to leave now. The king of the Wheel of Life is furious. If I leave, how could I face the 100 cloud-piercing arrows my family gifted me? A monstrous wave surges across the sea. At that moment, a figure appeared. Chopping up my underling like firewood? Isn't this a bit too much? The person arriving is none other than destruction, forcing me to come out. The punch landed squarely on the King of Revolver's face. The bad news is, besides shattering the streaming glasses, it didn't harm the King of Revolvers at all. An enraged King of Revolvers slapped Su Fu down onto the water. The King of the Wheel kept pressing forward. Su Fu knew he was unlikely to escape this disaster. He quietly gathered energy in his hands. The good news is, his sneak attack worked. Although this method shifted the Wheel King's attack away, but Su Fu was still shaken by the aftermath, bleeding from all 7 orifices. A strike from a king-level powerhouse is no less destructive than a missile. Su Fu, who barely withstood the blow, was already exhausted. Keep the gifts coming, everyone. Next, I will be live streaming the Axe King. The energy ball condensed by the Wheel King is about to fall. Su Fu hurriedly leaned out. He activated the black hole gate, directly sending the Wheel King to demand someone. In the midst of contemplation and competition, someone in the live stream sent enough 100 cloud-piercing arrows. The Wheel King directly arrived above this sea area. He activated the live camera on his glasses. The King of Shao he just mentioned is an existence that transcends the vengeful spirits. Su Fu fled to him, originally seeking refuge. Unexpectedly, the underworld has become ruthless this time. Su Fu has escaped into this trench to find King Zhao's gecko. If he receives 100 piercing arrows, Zhuanluan claims he will personally go down and destroy King Zhao. This special live stream has been pushed to the phones of all mystics with the Underworld app. This is a paranormal live stream you've never seen before. All it takes is one arrow to pierce the clouds. The eldest among the 10 kings of hell, Zhuanluan, is live streaming as he goes underwater to catch ghosts. The latest news reveals, you think you can move me without undoing your restraints? You're a bit too naive, aren't you? While the two masters were locked in battle, too distracted by each other, Jiang Chen carried Su Ling away from that place of trouble. Just as they finally relaxed, they stumbled upon the Wheel King's live stream. It's been over a decade. No one has dared to say they could touch a hair on me. The two instantly engaged in battle. Unexpectedly, Director Sun fell into a disadvantage right from the start. How are you going to fight me like this? With that, he dragged Su Ling outside. Director Sun from the underworld couldn't take it anymore. Dao Xian, are you here to pick a fight today? The old Daoist's expression changed. He pulled out many talismans from his sleeve. People from Shangqingzong arrived immediately. From the tone, this person seems to be on the same level as the director of Yinchao. The old Taoist went straight towards Su Ling. Such strong spiritual energy. Now, there's finally a successor for my master's aunt's teachings. I came in a bit hurriedly. I accidentally hurt a few little ones. I hope you don't mind. Jiang Chen was already stunned. Chen Shui just reported it. Seeing that he was about to be taught a lesson by the person opposite, there was a loud bang. A figure suddenly appeared in the arena. Long time no see. Director Sun Qingzong from Dao Xian is here to pay a visit. If this works out, there will be rewards. The director here is already getting impatient. At this moment, Jiang Chen already knows the significance of the spiritual body. Naturally, He doesn't want Su Ling to be fooled into becoming a disciple. He begins to use sweet talk to deceive the director. As soon as Chen Shui heard there was a spirit beside Jiang Chen, she excitedly jumped out of bed. The spiritual body is a rare talent for cultivation in a century. Our sect leader at the Qing sect has been searching for a spiritual body to inherit the teachings. I will report this immediately. That punch woke Su Ling up again. Jiang Chen quickly interrupted, saying such a big matter should be asked of the girl's parents. But Su Ling had no parents at all. He was actually calling Chen Shui, preparing to ask what the spirit had to say. But he's still far from being the strongest. If you apprenticed under Yen Luo, you'd surpass him in just 10 days. Su Qiao immediately prepared to agree. But Jiang Chen stopped it with a punch. The little girl was instantly intrigued. He pointed at Jiang Chen. Can the Yen Luo you mentioned take him down in a few hits? The director chuckled softly. Young lady, that's not a very polite question. This young man may have some skills. The little girl was full of questions. What's a Yen Luo? The chief explained to her. That's my teacher. The strongest person in the world. He had matters to discuss with this young friend. He slowly approached Su Qiao. The spirit of deceit. A real talent. Little one, would you be willing to become a disciple of a Yen Luo? Only to see a ripple in the air before him. A short figure appeared. The director of the Primrose organization has arrived. He walked up to Captain Yang. He instructed him to step outside first. You would have died 10,000 times by now. Didn't you notice that someone just entered this room? As Jiang Chen finished speaking, a soft chuckle suddenly echoed in the air. What an interesting little guy. He's just responsible for capturing it first. After a standoff, Captain Yang is filled with ghostly energy. It's obvious he's about to make a move. But Jiang Chen seems calm and composed. If I really wanted to fight you, I didn't expect Su Qiao would sneak out with Jiang Chen while Su Ling was asleep. This is the headquarters of the underworld. It's quite troublesome for an anomaly to appear here. As expected, Captain Yang doesn't care whether it's good or bad. As soon as the words were spoken, the man suddenly lunged at Su Qiao, who was hiding aside. Jiang Chen hurriedly blocked the blow for him. Weren't you sleeping at home? How did they follow us? After saying this, he slowly walked towards Jiang Chen. I personally suggest you choose the 200,000 points. It can be exchanged for many things. For example, his life. He can battle against ghost-level anomalies. At this stage, he needs higher authority to accept advanced tasks. After hearing this, Jiang Chen boldly demanded second-level authority. The staff member, suppressing their anger, explained that only the director has the authority to grant second-level permissions. However, Jiang Chen stated that he did not want these points. He wanted to exchange this achievement for Yin Chao's level 2 authority because he had improved his strength too quickly. Now he can extract 4-star transformation cards. His strength is on par with a first-level expert. At this time, a staff member came to hand over to Jiang Chen. He not only resolved the lingering spirits in Jing'an district, but also indirectly saved the life of a squad leader. After some calculations, Yin Chao was willing to offer 200,000 points as a reward. At this moment, there is also a nearly lifeless captain from the underworld. Jiang Chen can't just watch him die. He has no choice but to personally send him to the underworld headquarters. Fortunately, Jiang Chen returned him in time. Su Xingfeng has managed to save his life by a stroke of luck. Jiang Chen arrived late. The king of Taishan didn't even glance at him before soaring into the sky. This person scared away the evil spirit and the strange presence with a single move. He must at least have the strength of a Wang Ji. I'm afraid even a 3-star monster would feel as fragile as paper in front of him. I didn't expect the gap in strength to be so great. Su Fu hurriedly opened a spatial portal to escape. He was just here to collect the soul shards. If he lost his life, it would be not worth it. The battle here had just ended. This person must be one of the top fighters in the underworld. King Taishan. It said he's been guarding the Yangtze River region. I never expected him to appear here. They exchanged just one move. Su Fu was seriously injured. Just as his finger was about to land, a figure descended from the sky. Su Fu looked down. The newcomer's gauntlets were engraved with the word Prince. Such a distinct characteristic. The Ming Dynasty captain couldn't even see the move before his body was sliced apart. If it weren't for the strange regenerative ability sealed within him, just that one strike would have taken his life. Su Fu took one step by step, approaching to deliver the final flick to his forehead. The captain of the Primrose organization leading this time can only do his best. He tries to buy some time for the team to retreat, but his strength couldn't even break through the black hole door that his opponent casually opened. Su Fu, however, can use this door to move freely. He lightly flicked his finger. They still lacked the confidence to confront the person in front of them. Su Fu was enraged out of humiliation. The scheme he meticulously planned was ruined. Even the fragments of the evil soul were destroyed. A massacre is unavoidable. He directly broke the dimensional barrier of the real world. This is the true power of a malevolent spirit. When Su Fu appeared in Jing'an district, all the law enforcement personnel from the underworld mobilized. But even so, those below the master level should evacuate immediately. Jiang Cheng left directly through the window. The malevolent spirit in Jing'an district has just been dealt with by itself. Why has it emerged again? The man lightly tapped the air. I didn't expect he was also a cultivation tool. He couldn't help but feel more concern for the girl. Just as the two were about to have a deeper conversation, Jiang Cheng's phone suddenly blared an urgent alarm. There's a level 1 attack alert in Jing'an district, Jiangbei City. She made some double-layered milk pudding and invited Jiang Chen to join her. During this process, Jiang Chen unexpectedly discovered that Sister Hong had started practicing the Kuei Do secret art, though the energy in her body was still very weak. But this all came from his night of cultivation. At this moment, there are still many demons left. Jiang Chen started thinking about enhancing Demon Sound Valley. After investing a bunch of Ghost Cry points, Demon Sound Valley evolved into Quinyu Valley. At this moment, Sister Hong from next door came knocking. His strength has surged significantly. He spins the wheel. He draws his first 4-star demon card, the green-haired lion monster, along with 2 more 3-star demon cards for protection. These are Kuei Malang and King of P City. Su Lei felt a ripple in his heart. Meanwhile, Jiang Chen, who had already returned home, began to tally the gains from the trip. His demon cry points were nearing 200,000. The demon cards he drew before only included a single 3-star card. Now he can already draw 4-star demon cards. Who did all this? This operation was conducted in secret. Other than everyone here, only Jiang Chen knows about this place. But is that man really that powerful? Not sure how long it had been. A pair of enforcement officers from the underworld descended here. The Jing'an community, marked as a forbidden zone, had now turned into a pile of ruins. They not only discovered bizarre corpses all over the ground, but also found the remains of a deceased evil spirit on the terrace. Jiang Chen is a good person. After thinking for a moment, Jiang Chen decided to take Su Lin home first. His body, a hybrid of human and ghost, would definitely be sent to the laboratory if discovered by the underworld. But Jiang Chen's transformation time hasn't ended yet. He easily suppressed her. Although the two sisters share one body, their relationship is very good. Su Ling also advised her not to resist. The vicious spirit was shattered. Ghost cry plus 50,000. Afterward, Jiang Chen found Su Ling amidst the ruins. The young girl was having a stress response at this moment. Su Qiao inside woke up. Jiang Chen also realized that the strange creature didn't possess the strength of a vicious soul. Fortunately, I interrupted it in time. Otherwise, it would have been hard to escape unscathed this time. After taking the final strange move, Jiang Chen pierced his forehead with a single strike. He took out a 3-star transformation card. This time, it was possessed by the bear skin monster. Jiang Chen used his physical strength to clash fists with the vicious soul. Unexpectedly, this guy was no match for the 3-star transformation card. During the confrontation, the aura of this vengeful spirit wasn't very stable. It must be because the ritual wasn't fully completed, which prevented its power from reaching its peak. Since that's the case, there's still hope for victory. Jiang Chen kicked them away with one strike. He thought that ending a lifetime would stop the vengeful spirit from resurrecting, but the skulls still automatically fused together. The vengeful spirit appeared. However, Jiang Chen keenly noticed. When the shrine absorbs enough ghostly energy, it will dissolve into a liquid form. When the liquid merges with the 14 skulls beneath the shrine, the malevolent soul will resurrect on the spot. The skulls are almost completely merged. At the moment of death, it spat out its last breath of ghostly energy. The ghostly energy drenched the demon altar, causing the already saturated ghostly energy to rise further. Jiang Chen finally understood the purpose of this ritual. It turned out that a shard of a malevolent soul was hidden in that demon shrine. The two were racing against time. Neither wasted any more words. In the end, Jiang Chen used the evolved flesh Lingji to cut the eerie creature in two. The feather-clad ghost was ruthless. He had previously encountered the otherworldly beings. The otherworldly beings knew they were no match for Jiang Chen. He grabbed a strange creature nearby and swallowed it. This method is a desperate forbidden technique. Only this way could they delay the situation. There wasn't much time left. The demonic altar is about to be saturated with the ghostly cries. Jiang Chen rushed forward. First, he cut down the puppet master. Then he pointed his sword at the otherworldly beings. After some more effort, Jiang Chen dealt with the remaining two, without any helpers. The puppet master's true form was very weak. He limped toward the rooftop to escape. Jiang Chen met the large blade with both palms. He used a clever technique to redirect the force, causing this strike to heavily injure another strange creature as well. After losing some members, Jiang Chen handled the situation more smoothly. Jiang Chen directly used the 2-star monster card, Yangli Daxian. He was the first to activate the death array. Right from the start, he killed a strange creature. As he turned around, the pig-headed monster had already slashed down with a knife. When Jiang Chen reached the second floor, he happened to run into the puppet master. Things weren't looking good. The puppet master, by some unknown means, managed to control the 4 most powerful ghosts in the community. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable. The feathered ghost on the rooftop also sensed that the guards he set up had been dealt with. He hurriedly ordered the puppet master beside him to intercept them. They just need to be delayed for a while. The demon shrine will absorb enough energy by then, and often a human. Jiang Chen brought Su Ling downstairs. He casually dealt with the little ghost guarding the door. Jiang Chen walked upstairs. He must destroy this ritual immediately. The girl was crushed, leaving only half of her body. The cries of the entire building's ghosts were thus infused into her body. From that moment on, there was an additional vengeful spirit clad in a raincoat here. His upper body is often a ghost. The young girl began to tell Jiang Chen about the strange origins of this ghost. To create a hit horror manga, a woman personally went to an abandoned construction site on a rainy night for inspiration. Little did she know, the building collapsed. When she was found, the street became very quiet. Su Ling looked up at the building that absorbed the wails of the ghosts. I never expected Zhang Chunyu to have such great abilities. Is she the female ghost who stole the magic shrine? I didn't expect Su Ling to know her. Jiang Chen didn't press her. He patted the little girl's head and said, "Say it when you're ready." Then, the two of them headed towards the building in the distance. Due to the strange occurrences, everyone was drawn away. It must have been Su Ling again. The girl groggily asked if it was her sister who came out just now. Yeah, Su Ling's sister is pretty impressive. The girl stammered. She seemed to have something she couldn't say. Collapsing to the ground, some of the ghostly features on her body also disappeared. After a while, the little girl regained consciousness. Jiang Chen knew he was actually able to hold his own against the giant before him. But Jiang Chen knew the urgency of the situation. He stole the meat Ganoderma and ended this bizarre being. After the battle ended, Su's body went limp. Is this the legendary split personality? As he pondered this, Su Qiao had already engaged in a fight with the strange creature. Though he was small in stature, the power hidden within him was immense. Su Qiao couldn't stand the noise. Ghost cry plus 600. Jiang Chen stood frozen in place. Why did the name change? And how did he become a ghost? But this strange creature acted like a rabid dog. A man and a ghost started shouting at each other in the street. Su Ling grew irritated as he listened to their argument, until he shouted out loud. Only then did Jiang Chen notice his appearance had changed. Just then, a strange creature passed by Jiang Chen. It asked Jiang Chen if he had seen its master. This guy actually wasn't under control. It seems like it's pretty high level. Jiang Chen didn't really want to deal with it. They are rushing there in groups. To reach such a scale of a night parade of 100 ghosts, there must be someone performing the Ghost King's birthday ritual. Jiang Chen knew that there must be a fierce, ghost-level entity controlling things from behind the scenes. He didn't think of a way to stop it. Under his guidance, countless little spirits are gathering here. On the other side, Jiang Chen also noticed this unusual scene. All the wailing spirits are crazily converging towards the rooftop of a building. The strange beings here have also stopped attacking humans. You're too slow like this. Let me handle the nearby anomalies. Come and offer a sacrifice to the magic altar. The man is a member of the Dark Alliance. He has the ability to control puppets. The demon shrine is absorbing ghost cry on a rooftop. This neighborhood is filled with strange entities. It's a great place for the magic altar to absorb energy. The previous feathered ghost escaped here for that reason. At this moment, a man suddenly appeared beside him. With this, Jiang Chen also killed this strange entity. At the same time, the drawing of the monster ended. These three strange entities also brought Jiang Chen nearly 4,000 ghost cry points. The scene shifts to another side. This move was quite effective. A terrifying aura erupted from the flesh Lingji. No wonder this divine power wasn't very strong. Turns out it's a supportive skill. He can amplify the weapon in his hand. The divine power of this king's cliff should be related to weapons. Just thought of this and didn't notice. It was swallowed by the strange creature. Inside the strange creature's belly, he struggled to fuse the king's tooth with the weapon formed by the flesh Lingji. While attacking, Jiang Chen was also thinking of a strategy. Suddenly, he had an idea. In the original story, this yellow scarf thief stole the weapons of Wukong and the others, which means this monster has a good knowledge of magical weapons. But after a series of continuous attacks, he only managed to create a large bump on its head. Something's not right. This is a 2-star divine power. It shouldn't be this weak. Fortunately, this thing is condensed using waste strength. It can still be restored. This time, Jiang Chen was cautious. While attacking with the king's tooth, he also guarded against the strange giant. Her gaping, bloody mouth can even bite through Huang Shijin's armor. Jiang Chen uses the divine king's fang to fight back. Unexpectedly, she bites him in return. A dizzying sensation overwhelms him. The divine king's fang condensed in his palm is forcefully snapped in two. The ghostly soul returns. Drawing a ghost's pale teeth and blood-stained robes. Jiang Chen never expected this woman to mimic him. She can transform too. The woman's attacks after transforming into a demon are fierce. His face twisted in rage. He smeared the blood from his forehead down to the tip of his nose. When a person dies, their soul lingers, wandering nearby. Frightened by this revelation, it easily took care of this mother and daughter. The only strange thing is that Jiang Chen seemed a bit off. This time, the power of the 2-star divine power seemed rather average. The woman saw her husband and daughter both killed by Jiang Chen. Angrily, he dipped his fingers in blood. Transforming now, the current golden armor is even more impervious to weapons. Not only can it resist the man's venom attacks, but it also ignores the daughter's counterattack abilities. The divine power of the king's path that the golden armor comes with is also very sharp. This is the most tragic major demon in Journey to the West. Other demons eat people when they're hungry. This guy actually instructs his subordinates to buy winter supplies. But even this relatively weak major demon is easy to handle against the strange ones. If it gets into the wound, I'm afraid it would cripple the whole body. For safety's sake, Jiang Chen hurriedly used the demon transformation card. 2-star demon transformation card. Huangshi spirit. But the wound appeared on my own body. The man of this house is also a pervert. The drool he speaks of is as corrosive as strong acid. It has an acidic nature. Just the smell alone is enough to make you sick. Jiang Chen had already noticed that the entire family of 3 had turned into something strange, especially the daughter of the family. After turning into something eerie, she gained the ability to transfer injuries. Jiang Chen clearly struck her with his blade. Dinner is ready. This situation scared Su Ling quite a bit. Let's go. I told you not to let you in. But as soon as he looked up, he saw Jiang Chen trembling all over. The eerie atmosphere excited me so much I couldn't stand still. I'm still not full. You misunderstood. I mean my husband and daughter are enough for you 2 little dishes. Go ahead. He poured the grape juice from the table into 2 jars. Come out quickly. While eating, he complained about how little food there was. The woman chuckled. 2 dishes are enough. Jiang Chen rolled his eyes at her. Enough what enough? Nonsense. My husband and daughter don't look like this at all. That's because our looks improved after we came back. Oh, you even prepared some food. I'm just hungry. Jiang Chen casually picked up his chopsticks and started eating. Jiang Chen, that show off, jumped out immediately. Hey, we're back. I'm your husband. And this is your daughter. The woman shouted angrily. Through the crack in the door, they saw a disheveled woman worshipping 2 jars. Husband, oh Shao Na. Today is your 7th day. Hurry back now. Jiang Chen was incredibly excited. This is a great place to gather ghost energy. I can't miss this. While saying this, he pulled Su Ling inside. The woman in that family just died. Her husband and child have been summoning her spirit every day lately. Jiang Chen could also clearly sense the ghostly presence inside. It was starting to seep out. The stronger the being, the higher they lived. It seems this little girl's sister is no ordinary person either. The 2 of them walked into the building. Jiang Chen noticed a red light at the entrance of one of the apartments. Su Ling told her not to look around. I'll take you back. The 2 walked one after the other toward the houses deeper inside. The woods pointed toward the building up high. She said that's her home. Jiang Chen had almost figured out the pattern here. With one move, he took down the half-step blood robe. Who exactly is this Jiang Chen? Jiang Chen walked to the little girl's side. It's over. You'd better not run around. It charged forward like a train into a tunnel. The eerie one was smashed to pieces. The ghost cop is dead. The ghost wife plus 999. The little girl nearby was dumbfounded. Using this, he cleared the blocked rubble. He grabbed Su Ling and turned to run outside. Seeing the strange figure still in the sewer, he shouted loudly. He transformed the flesh Lingji into a large club. Even the weapon transformed from the flesh spirit mushroom cannot be used effectively. After a brief exchange, Jiang Chen is clearly at a disadvantage. We can't keep going like this. He dodged a strange attack. A faint sound blocked the passage. Given the current situation, Jiang Chen can no longer hide his strength. He begins to fight against the strange entity in the sewer. However, the environment here is too cramped. Oh no, we've woken it up. After saying that, the little girl wanted to run away again, but the strange creature gave her no chance. It suddenly shouted a word, lock. Suddenly, a lot of rubble appeared at the bridge entrance. Would appear to help him. Sister, are you talking about her? I don't know when. Deep in the sewers where the two are hiding, a strange, bizarre creature slowly approaches. Don't be fooled by her size. She can already survive alone in this dangerous area. According to him, whenever he is in danger, his sister. Unlike Jiang Chen's calmness, the little girl keeps glancing into the depths of the sewer. They wait until the catfish monster above leaves. Only then does Jiang Chen have time to ask the little girl where she's from. The little girl is called Su Lin. After just one glance, the two of them turned and ran. The security guard here is actually a Tom. He's walking around while eating teddy bear biscuits. The two of them hide under the bridge, not daring to make a sound, quietly waiting for Tom to leave. Does a security guard really need to be so scary? The little girl hurriedly explained. The security guard in this community is different from others. Jiang Chen wanted to ask something else. Suddenly, a shadow appeared overhead. At that moment, a sharp sound of footsteps came from the room next door. The little girl was terrified and broke out in a sweat. It's not good. The security guard is coming out. Jiang Chen was a bit confused. Are you out of your mind? This building is full of murderers. They could tear you apart alive. Jiang Chen started to play dumb. He said he just wandered in by mistake. At that moment, a small hand suddenly grabbed him. It was a cute little girl. Seeing no hostility from him, Jiang Chen let her lead him. The little girl led Jiang Chen out of the residential building, indicating that he was a person. A living person actually consumes his own kind. No wonder this area has been designated as a restricted zone. Because he was unsure of the situation here, Jiang Chen didn't act rashly. At that moment, a bald man holding a bowl of rice suddenly appeared behind Jiang Chen. He had rice in his right hand, and a pickled chicken foot in his left hand. Jiang Chen sensed no trace of malice from him. Little did he know that everyone here are murderers. What just happened was merely their usual tactic during the hunt. He just underestimated Jiang Chen's abilities. With his current physical condition, ordinary knives can't cut through his skin at all. But as the saying goes, one must take risks to seek wealth and honor. After hesitating for a long time, Jiang Chen finally stepped into this mission area. The boy got hit in the face by a fat guy. He angrily wanted to confront him for an explanation. He hesitated a bit. To deal with an eerie spirit of the soul level, it clearly requires a 4-star demon card. If he uses a 3-star, the chance of winning is probably less than half. But Jiang Chen already knew that the demonic shrine was a great treasure. How could he easily give up this opportunity? He glanced at the system panel, showing nearly 50,000 ghost cry points. He asked how much grim cry is needed to draw a 4-star demon card. After receiving the number 100,000, after they chased the strange entity all the way into the city, Jiang Chen introduced the situation with the strange entities inside the girls, which triggered another outbreak. They needed to immediately return to headquarters to suppress it. Before leaving, he warned Jiang Chen not to go in and seek death. This mission is extremely dangerous. You should know that vengeful spirits are a level above bloodthirsty apparitions. They take this information very seriously. Not long ago, they finally found that demonic altar in a cave. Just as they were about to take it away, they were intercepted by that strange apparition. The Yin Chao organization recently captured a person from the Dark Realm. From him, they learned the Dark Shadows are planning a terrorist activity. They are helping a vengeful spirit find a ghost cry. They intend to curse the entire Jiangbei city. Jiang Cheng was about to go in when he was stopped by the hurried team leader. This is a sea-level collective task location. We cannot rush in recklessly. Then Jiang Chen began to inquire about the origins of this strange figure. Just as the eerie man is about to be captured, his whole body gets enveloped in a green mist. His speed increases several times in an instant. Using this power, a strange figure fled into a residential area marked with. The girl feels that the strange energy within her is about to spiral out of control. Given the current situation, he can no longer pursue. Jiang Chen rises to take on the task of pursuit. In fact, He set his eyes on the treasure in the eerie man's hand. The two fight while fleeing. He falls. It is only then that he realizes the true power of the attack from earlier. The cursed person is plagued by bad luck. Misfortunes do not come singly. After consecutive battles, Jiang Chen was still relieved that he hadn't rushed in. However, the girl discovered that this attack seemed to have no real damage at all. After unleashing this bizarre attack, the figure across turned and fled. The person from the underworld still wants to pursue, but he trips over the stones beneath his feet. May you die a terrible death. Just by looking at this situation, it's clear that it's not easy to handle. The girl quickly turned and ran away. But suddenly, a beam of black light shot out from the altar. It pierced through the chest of the team leader from the underworld at an incredible speed. He suddenly spat out a terrifyingly shaped shrine. He muttered incantations and offered one of my arms. The shrine suddenly opened its mouth and swallowed the eerie arm, cursing you with endless misfortune. They quickly inflicted heavy injuries on the anomaly. The anomaly's life reappeared. He howled in agony, while opening his mouth wide. After a brief moment of brewing, the underworld people rushed over. The two exchanged glances. They began to team up to attack the anomaly. The underworld squad leader was already strong. Plus, Jiang Chen was also there to assist. He froze on the spot for a moment, but Gi's attack continued. In a split second, a golden light flew in from afar, pierced the strange neck. He would be kicked to death by those long white legs. Just as Jiang Chen took out the painting waste card, a dramatic scene occurred. Gi instinctively kicked away the card that suddenly appeared in Jiang Chen's hand. It was the first time Jiang Chen had encountered such a situation. He suddenly realized that pair of beautiful legs had already reached behind him. The speed was eerily fast. In an instant, Jiang Chen found himself completely unable to fight back. It couldn't go on like this. If he didn't draw the demon soon. It turned out her lower body was the true form. After being severed by Jiang Chen, it transformed into its complete form and began to condense a strange cry. Jiang Chen had to dodge backward. In the moment he turned around, I didn't expect this move. The strange being didn't block it, and was cut in half by Jiang Chen. A bizarre scene unfolded. Blood and flesh kept regenerating from the cut at the girl's waist. Upon closer inspection, the girl's upper and lower body were two completely different colors. Jiang Chen sensed that this eerie creature was already very close to reaching his blood. He didn't dare hold back. He attacked again. With one kick, Jiang Chen was sent flying several meters away. At this moment, the girl realized what was happening. There is no murderer named Xiao Zhongqiang. It was all Jiang Chen tricking him. He ripped off the robe from his body. Fighting the creature here would cause too much damage. We can only take him to a secluded place to deal with him slowly. Jiang Chen swung the flesh Lingji to attack directly. The girl instinctively blocked it with her thigh. His leg strength was exceptionally strong in this strike. Jiang Chen swiftly moved through the city at lightning speed. Only he knew that the taxi driver just now wasn't a ghost. The one in his arms was in the city center. In the driver's strange gaze, Jiang Chen suddenly leaped to the back seat. Then, at an astonishing speed, he carried the girl out of the car. The taxi driver was a ghost. Hold on to me, I'll get you out of here. He specifically targeted young girls like you. No details about his appearance were released. The police only mentioned that the slain murderer was named Xiao Zhongqiang. The girl in the back seat was staring intently at the driver's ID because the name written on it was none other than Xiao Zhongqiang. In an instant, he shook off the underworld pursuers. Just as the girl got into the taxi, she heard the passenger in front telling ghost stories. Yesterday, a murderer who had been on the run for 20 years was shot dead. It is said that he often disguised himself as a taxi driver. They hadn't gone far when a group of men in black chased after them. Jiang Chen then realized that the people from the underworld were trying to steal his prey. He unleashed his demonic power and secretly accelerated the taxi. She said someone behind wanted to kill her. Jiang Chen focused his strength in his eyes. He immediately sensed that the girl wasn't just an ordinary person. How could she be free of evil energy? He hurriedly motioned for the girl to get in the car. It was worth the effort he put into designing it. He was deep in thought. Jiang Chen was abruptly pulled back to reality by the sudden break. A hooded girl stood in front of the car. She begged the driver to take her with him. It looks a bit like a ticket to a supernatural space. After resolving these matters, Jiang Chen began to tally the gains from this trip. Now he already has over 26,000 ghost cry points. That ordinary vengeful spirit just gave him over 7,000 ghost cry points. On the front of the card, a few skulls were printed, with Route 444 written at the bottom. He tried burning the card with fire, but it remained unharmed. This is probably another paranormal item. Suddenly, Jiang Chen noticed something hidden in its hair. It was a small pink card. Right after he took it, the eerie figure lost its support and slowly dissipated. Jiang Chen aimed his palm at its heart. Killed by a ghost kiss. Ghost wife plus 999. In the past, after dying in strange ways, the bodies wouldn't remain. Unexpectedly, this time it didn't dissipate. Then, she began to mutter under her breath. The eerie sound made Jiang Chen extremely uncomfortable. He gently tapped the demonic chime at his waist. The ghost's sound wave was immediately interrupted, taking advantage of that eerie moment of distraction. As long as the eerie emotions fluctuate intensely, the system will automatically harvest the ghost cry. The female ghost couldn't understand how she could still be taken advantage of by a man after turning into a vengeful spirit. She used all her strength to escape Jiang Chen's clutches. He struck at Jiang Chen with both palms. An inverted happiness symbol formed in the palms of both hands. Jiang Chen revealed a meaningful smile. Since this female ghost can't break through my defense, it's time for me to harvest some ghost energy. The weeping female ghost saw someone blocking her from getting married. She violently tore off the red ribbon from her head. What a surprise. Trying to fool me with this act. Go to hell. You said it. A female ghost with a red ribbon on her head arrived at the door. At first sight of her, Jiang Chen's eyes gleamed green. This strange ghost isn't very strong. It seems I can take a lot from her. He knew the man was in trouble tonight. The reason he had been lurking downstairs for so long was naturally because of the ghostly aura around the haunted house. After a while, the time has reached 12 o'clock. The man quickly reminded him to hurry and throw it away. This red envelope will attract evil spirits. Jiang Chen secretly chuckled to himself. I didn't even want to come. From the moment he saw the man pick up the red envelope this morning, opened the door quickly. I'm a good person who returns lost money. I specifically brought you this red envelope. The door, originally locked with red silk, was actually forcefully broken open by the visitor. Seeing a young man holding the red envelope, he hurried to the window and shouted to throw it away quickly. It's fine. But the next second, that male voice had already appeared outside the door. He knocked on the door and said, Hey, brother, trying to keep the approaching ghostly thing away from him. Unexpectedly, a loud male voice came from downstairs. Who is throwing things from above in the middle of the night? Who has such poor manners? The man was shocked. It's still half an hour from now. The man wailed for his life and gave up. Then he collapsed on the ground. Everything is caused by this red envelope. He threw it out the window. He was blocked by a red silk ribbon. The silk moved on its own without wind. In an instant, they formed a ball of big red flowers and blocked the door. The man wants to cut it open with scissors. But that red silk is extremely tough. Suddenly, a woman's voice came from the bedroom at midnight. What a beautiful moment. You and I are getting married. The man was so scared he fled. But when he reached the door, the first man who picks it up is expected to marry her in a ceremonial wedding. Hearing this, he instinctively glanced at the red envelope on the table, not knowing when. A large mass of hair has already surged out. She would be unable to reincarnate. For a woman like this to reincarnate, a ritual must be performed. The family would place the daughter's hair in a red envelope, and throw it on the road for someone to find. The man in the jade room is also a bit flustered. The person opposite him is still explaining. It is said that in earlier times, if a woman under 16 who was unmarried died unexpectedly, look closely at this character for happiness. It's upside down. In Chinese weddings, this kind of character for happiness is not used. This is no wedding red envelope. This is your life money. The nightmare was blocked by that secretary when clear memories came to mind. Hongjie has the bloodline of the Gu family. Perhaps after cultivation, she could also become an extraordinary person. A man boasted in the group about finding a wedding red envelope. Someone reminded him to throw it away quickly. This incident will be over. Jiang Chen won't have to worry about the follow-up pursuit of the red-clad level anomaly. The two drove home. On the way, Jiang Chen unexpectedly discovered that Hong Jie's memory hadn't been erased. It turns out his father had given him the Kuei Do manual. Jiang Chen points to Boss Gu and requests that the Yinchao organization not erase his memory. The recently agreed upon share arrangement hasn't been signed yet. Jiang Chen can't let him lose his memory. After erasing the memories of the others, the people from Yinchao will arrive. Leading them this time is a captain-level figure, Yang Chuan. As soon as Yang Chuan meets Jiang Chen, he tests his strength. In the end, he believes Jiang Chen truly has the ability to fight Shui Yi. After giving a brief explanation of the situation, Jiang Chen had no choice but to do a favor and give the manual to the Gu family. The family head, Gu Boss, was also very surprised by Jiang Chen's ability to turn waste into treasure. Zhang Ji stated that he would give him 30% of the Gu family's shares. After their deal is done, Jiang Chen thought he had found a martial art. He hurriedly repaired the secret manual. Unexpectedly, the first page of this Kwai Do secret manual stated that only those with the Gu family bloodline can practice it, seeing that he couldn't use it. But it also came looking for him to take his life. Then he took out a nail obtained from the tomb and an old ancient book. The moment he saw these items, the system panel prompted that the damaged Han Gu stake requires 30,000 ghost tears. The broken key to secret technique requires 100 ghost tears to repair. Unexpectedly, he found something strange locked in the Gu family's ancestral grave. In a moment of impulse, he struck the copper nails and talismans on the strange object with a shovel. This is how the disaster happened. Not only did it release that strange entity, a disaster of extermination will befall the Gu family. Back then, the two clan elders of the Gu family found him. They wanted him to send Hongjie to the ancestral grave to appease the spirits. He couldn't bear to let a young girl die, so he took people to dig up the ancestral grave. It turns out that the recent supernatural events in the Gu family are related to their ancestors. Back then, their branch was not expelled from the family tree for wrongdoing. Rather, it was because a calamity person appeared in that area. This is a curse bound to the Gu family. Once a calamity person appears. Meanwhile, Jiang Cheng was unaware of how terrifying it was to be a blood-level anomaly from birth. At this moment, he was only thinking about the bounty set by Hongjie's father at that time. The head of the Gu family noticed that Jiang Chen had a close relationship with his daughter, so he dismissed everyone. He kept him behind to talk privately. Things have gotten complicated. If a blood-level anomaly escapes to the city, it will cause significant losses. He quickly sounded the alarm for all units to pay attention. A new blood-level anomaly has appeared in Jiangcheng. Jiangcheng had no choice but to call Lin Chao. The operator over there, upon hearing it was a drought demon incident, quickly told Jiang Cheng to turn on the locator. This thing was born at blood healer level. You all better hurry over. He turned and ran. This little thing is way too fast. It's constantly shifting around the villa. In the blink of an eye, it's gone. Chasing it now would be too dangerous. This time, he drew the black bear monster. This is a powerful demon that can be taken under Guanin's command. It's strong enough to rival the blood robe level. The strange Hanba seemed to sense the oppressive aura from that card. Before Jiang Cheng could use it, it ultimately emerged. This guy was born at the blood clothing level. Even the forest giant formed from Jiang Chen's demon power was restrained by him. He quickly opened the system panel. He drew a 3-star monster card. Jiang Chen exhausted his inner demon power and finally dealt a heavy blow to the strange creature, knocking it to the ground. But that drought demon seemed to sense the danger. Before Jiang Chen could reach him, it took the initiative to strike. They exchanged a punch. Engaging once again, his eerie strength had indeed grown. It was no longer a one-sided beating like before. But after all, the eerie intelligence still couldn't compare to humans. But no matter how he cast spells, the anomaly just keeps laughing. Blood kept pouring from his mouth. His clothes were completely soaked in red. At this point, he was just one step away from reaching the blood-stained level. The bizarre thing inside him is actually the legendary Hanba. Its birth will surely bring disaster. It must be killed in the womb. Jiang Chen continuously channels his magic. He hopes that the branch passing through will quickly eliminate the anomaly. It seemed like something was about to emerge. Suddenly, an eye appeared in the crack. A more terrifying wail than the creature itself came from inside. In an instant, all the surrounding trees, flowers, and plants began to wither. Jiang Chen is covered in sweat. This frenzied action seemed utterly ridiculous in Jiang Chen's eyes, because now it's an overwhelming display of raw power. The creature was eerily pierced through by the branch. Jiang Chen thought that was the end of it, but something strange happened to the creature's belly. He weakly and eerily stood up and pulled 2 bugs off his face again. The bugs grew larger in his hands, instantly evolving into 2 sharp blades. He madly slashed at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen urged his power, turning his fist into an iron shield. With one punch, the vengeful spirit was knocked away after just 1 second of defense. As the smoke cleared, Jiang Chen hurriedly used the 2-star spirit drawing card, Gu Zhigong. This powerful demon once discussed scriptures with Tang Sanzang. It is one of the 4 elders of the Wood Immortal Temple. Its mastery over plant magic is extraordinary. At this stage, only a 2-star spirit drawing card can counter top-tier malevolent spirits. It casually plucked a bug off its face. With a soft squelch, green fluid splattered across the girl's face. Manhua instantly lost consciousness and collapsed. Jiang Chen was sent flying with a single punch. This eerie creature turned out to be a top-tier fierce ghost. Manhua saw him injured and hurried forward to help, but the creature didn't pay him any attention. The eerie creature instantly plunged into chaos. Jiang Chen swung the sword transformed from the meat forest. He slashed fiercely at the creature's abdomen, but the strike had no effect. Instead, it enraged the creature in its chaotic state. He lightly leaped in front of the strange creature. Up close, it was truly a sight that was hard to bear. The pale, white bugs continuously provoked Jiang Chen's nerves. He did not dare to underestimate it. At the first moment, they struck the Devil's Sound Valley. When Jiang Chen and his group arrived, just in time to see the old man's 3 filial sons using him as a buffer to jump off. Looking further back, it turns out that a terrifying, strange creature is following behind them. Jiang Chen had been waiting for a long time, only he managed to escape by luck. The terrifying presence in the tomb followed him into his home. For some reason, it didn't go on a killing spree. Instead, it leisurely hunted the lives in the manor. He personally dug up the family grave. Inside, there was a woman's remains, entwined with chains. His belly was still bulging. More than a dozen people went down into the tomb. The wealthy man's daughter was found, with her upper body trapped in a mirror, suffocated to death. He knew it was all because of the sins he had committed in the past. On the day of his father's funeral, she is a regional freelancer. She said the situation in the villa is very dire. There is a top-level evil spirit here. Now, this place is just a sheep pen. Everyone here is just lambs waiting to be slaughtered. The eerie figure was instantly beaten and severely injured. After Jiang Chen dealt with this eerie entity, the blue-haired girl behind hurriedly stepped forward to speak. She showed Jiang Chen her identification. The girl's name is Hanyu. That eerie figure revealed its true form. It turned out to be the mirror ghost that had appeared in the rearview mirror. At this moment, the illusion was forcefully shattered by Jiang Chen. Its real body was fully exposed in front of Jiang Chen. Without the protection of the mirror space, he wanted to see if smashing this strange creature into dust would stop it from splitting. With one strike, suddenly, the sound of shattering glass echoed. Doing so would only make it keep splitting. Just now, he was overwhelmed by a group of strange splits. In that case, Jiang Chen took out the meat spirit fungus, and transformed it into a giant blunt weapon. Not only was it unharmed at all, but each half of the split body transformed into a complete form. The girl on the other side also woke up. She realized Jiang Chen was no ordinary person, so she warned him not to recklessly attack the creature. Hee, because the extra one is dug for you. So you already noticed I was approaching. Jiang Chen gathered his strength in his fist. With one strike, he split the strange creature in half. This thing was extremely sinister. Looking at the 2 pits in front of the big man, Jiang Chen asked in confusion, why dig 2 pits to bury one person? The man paused his movements and looked at Jiang Chen. The boy beside them recognized the girl. She was the missing exorcist. But in this situation, it looked like she was about to be buried. Jiang Chen told the 2 girls to hide well while he went ahead to check things out. Halfway there, Jiang Chen noticed some movement in the nearby woods. Quietly approaching, there lay a slim girl on the ground. Ahead, a burly man was digging a hole. The adults have gone to Grandpa's to discuss a plan. That's why there aren't many people in the villa. With a clear target, Jiang Chen no longer needed to search around the estate. They hurried towards the old man's residence. This prevented him from being scratched by the corpses. The battle quickly came to an end. Sister Hong only found her older brother's daughter in the villa. She learned from him. Second uncle's hired ghostbuster went missing in the evening, but that noise was a bit loud. All the other eerie things in the villa have been awakened. At this point, Jiang Chen took shape and began to fight against these corpses. Fortunately, he still maintained the 8-demon body technique while leading him to search for survivors. A step behind them, Jiang Chen suddenly noticed that Mom Lu's ankle had also been bitten. At that moment, Lu Ma's skin began to turn blue. Jiang Chen did not hold back. He condensed several streams of demonic energy and shot them at her. Those who got bitten would immediately go mad too. Everyone was so terrified that they hid in their rooms, not daring to come out. Luckily, these creatures have poor hearing. As long as we don't make too much noise, we won't wake them. Mom Lu was introducing the situation here to Hongjie. The old master told us to stay inside the house. Lock the doors. This villa belongs to Hongjie's older brother. But just last night, a servant suddenly went mad. He would attack anyone he saw. The servant, Aunt Lu, had been working for the Gu family for years. She recognized Sister Hong. No time to drink. She grabbed Sister Hong's hand and headed upstairs. Too many strange things have been happening in the house lately. This strange thing obviously didn't have a high IQ. Before it even figured out the situation, Jiang Chen grabbed it by the neck. After 2.5 years of dance practice, the ghost dancer from the Ghost Wife Clan 99. The two then carefully entered the villa area. Finally, they saw a living person. He focused his gaze with strength from his waist. Only then did he see that Hongjie was being controlled by a strange cry. Not far away, a man with his head down was controlling Hongjie to dance. With a wave of his hand and a shake of his shoulder, it all came together. Jiang Chen imitated Hongjie's movements and slowly approached. The accumulated ghost tears have almost reached 10,000. He turned to look at Hongjie, but there was no one behind him. Suddenly, he noticed that Hongjie had walked into the yard. One hand is still rhythmically dancing up and down, simulating the silver general he once transformed into. The divine technique, Sanhu Shao, has been successfully activated. This time, it directly melted the strange head. Security ghosts have died. 7 + 195. He casually opened the system panel. Fortunately, Jiang Chen was protected by his 8-demon body, so he wasn't seriously injured. The strange entity tried to take advantage and pursue. He grabbed Jiang Chen's jaw. Jiang Chen's core strength surged within his body. He just didn't expect that this inevitable knife actually didn't kill him. The edict that snapped him back to reality. A counterstrike. You can go in and collect the bodies. Actually, Jiang Chen sensed that the old man had bad intentions before entering. At that time, he just wanted to see what he was up to. Now that the goal has been achieved, there's no need to leave him alive. A black ladder split the eerie figure in half. Blood spilled everywhere and began seeping through the door crack. Security guard Uncle Zhao gave a sinister smile. That was pretty quick today. As long as his emotions fluctuated, Jiang Chen could harvest the ghostly energy. After taking some advantages, Jiang Chen activated his mystic demon body. The strength of his body surged. It's a pity that this strange power is mediocre. He was easily subdued by Jiang Chen. Then he took out the flesh spirit mushroom. It transformed into a whip. He struck it fiercely against the strange being. Why don't you all come in and feel my pain too? As soon as he finished speaking, Jiang Chen kicked him directly. This act immediately enraged the eerie presence. He broke free in anger. It was a cabinet tightly bound with ropes. Something inside is constantly hitting the cabinet door, seemingly aware that someone is approaching. The eerie presence inside forces the door open slightly. This door is good. Jiang Chen chuckled and said, do you think there's a chance that the security guard who died in your house is this Uncle Zhao? Otherwise, why would he lock us inside the house? At that moment, a knocking sound suddenly echoed in the empty room. Jiang Chen led Hong Jie towards the source. You haven't been home for so many years. How do you still know these servants? Sister Hong explained that this imperial edict had been with her father since she was very young. He used to be a driver. Now he's more like the family's security guard. Miss, I will take you to see the master. After bringing Sister Hong to the living room, the steward did not come in. Instead, he asked the two to wait a moment. Jiang Chen was a bit curious about Sister Hong. By the time they reached the Gu family, a middle-aged man was already waiting at the door. Hongjie greeted him, Uncle Zhao. Long time no see. The man, who looked like a butler, smiled back and said, come with me. At this moment, Jiang Chen's heart was in turmoil. They hadn't even reached the Gu family when they encountered two strange things. This time, we'll definitely make a fortune off the ghost energy. Without a car, the two had to travel on foot. It is falling rapidly. Jiang Chen kicked open the car door. He jumped onto the road holding Hong Jie. Hong Jie kept wiping her tears, saying she just saw her deceased sister. She still wanted to drag me to die with her. The sound grew louder and more urgent, until she felt an invisible barrier in the air being shattered. Only then did she come back to her senses, realizing the vehicle had started without her knowing. At this moment, it has already broken through the guardrail of the road. At that moment, Sister Hong seemed to have lost her mind. Saying it blankly is good. I'll come keep you company right now. But just in the next second, Hong Jie heard Jiang Chen's shout in her ear. So lonely. Sister, will you stay with me? She said, blood seeping from her eyes. Sister, you just need to drive off the cliff. Then you can be with me. Hong Jie felt like she was rapidly falling. This is a strange space. The sister on the other side said it's dark and cold here. Terrified, she threw herself into Sister Hong's arms. And I was here all alone. I was just told that you wanted to talk to me. As soon as I heard it was family. Hong Jie was no longer afraid. Sister, can you hear me? The moment her finger touched the rearview mirror. After a while, Jiang Chen looks at Hong Jie. You mentioned you had a cousin who went mad, right? She's already dead. She's in the mirror now. In the rearview mirror of the vehicle, there was a girl crying. Hong Jia looks at Jiang Chen and starts whispering in front of the rearview mirror, making him feel a chill all over. Sister Hong said tremulously, Xiao Chen. It seems there's a ghost in the car. Jiang Chen hurriedly jumped into the car. When did this happen? He didn't notice a thing. Then his mind shifted, and the flesh Ganoderma automatically became a belt. With that, the matter was settled. He called out to Sister Hong to continue on their way, but the vehicle showed no signs of starting. There's no ghostly aura on Jiang Chen. I can only try to subdue it using demon energy. The moment he touched the flesh Ganoderma, it transformed into a sharp blade gleaming with cold light. This must be the shape-shifting mentioned in the description. Price: 80,000 points. And it's out of stock. Its main feature is its ability to change forms. You should know that an artifact like the Demon Sound Valley only costs 20,000 points. This thing is definitely a rare treasure. Jiang Chen opened a small gap to observe. Inside is a writhing mass of black matter. He opened the underworld software to investigate. It says here this thing is called the Flesh Ganoderma. It's a type of growing ghost creature. This thing is indeed sinister. The host and the thing in the coffin have a symbiotic relationship. It's just that the system prompt is strange. It shows that it's already dead. Yet there are still faint sounds of pleading from inside the coffin. Then he used all his waist strength. Both hands tightly locked onto the crash ghost. At the moment he pulled the crash ghost out, a large amount of blood gushed from the coffin. The crash ghost died, using the momentum of the blow, to instantly get behind the car accident ghost. Just as he predicted. This coffin lid can only open from the front. It can't attack people from behind. Jiang Chen struggled to cope for a moment. This can't go on any longer. Once the car accident ghost wakes up, it'll be trouble with 2 against 1. He deliberately let the commander hit him. Just as it neared the little ghost's face, an arm appeared from the coffin. He exerted force, and the dagger that had accompanied Jiang Chen for so long shattered with a loud bang. Then, the palm turned into countless shadow strikes. The coffin lid transformed into a giant mouth and lunged at him. Jiang Chen also wanted to take this opportunity to test the power of the Demon Sound Valley. The moment the drum sound echoed, the little ghost fell into a trance. Taking advantage of this, Jiang Chen pulled out his dagger and thrust it at him. It's 100 billion. No need for change. Jiang Chen took the ghost money and wanted to make a retort. But the little ghost didn't give him the chance. Suddenly launched a surprise attack. He kicked it in frustration, pulling a stunt like cutting someone off maliciously. Without 5,000. You're not getting away. The little ghost was momentarily stunned, then slowly took a bill out of the hat. He turned to look at Sister Hong, told her to close the door properly and stay in the car. Only now did he have time to take a good look at the shady guy using a coffin lid as a hearse. Just as Jiang Chen got closer, a greenish arm stretched out from the coffin. There was no time to break. Jiang Chen lunged across the window. His body had been enhanced multiple times by the flower demon. He pressed down on the front of the car. He forced the sports car to stop. No wonder the Gu family attracted evil spirits. This is yet another manor built in a remote suburb. Suddenly, he was drawn to a shadow outside the window. Jiang Chen unexpectedly saw a little ghost riding a wobbling car. The little ghost accelerated and dashed in front of the sports car. The cleaning staff bled out alone in the bathroom. Even the youngest cousin at home went inexplicably insane. All of this originates from the Gu family's ancestral grave. On the way, Jiang Chen kept observing the surroundings. Only his father escaped down the mountain from the funeral procession, and he left the family that very night. Strange things started happening at home from that day. The security guard buried his upper body in the ground, suffocating to death. Returning to one's roots. Returning home in glory. Father wanted to bury grandpa in the ancestral grave. The family also agreed. But on the day of the burial, on the way, Sister Hong introduced Jiang Chen to the situation. The Gu family was a prominent clan in the early years. His branch split off from his grandfather's side. Later, the main family declined, but his father developed into the richest man in Jiangbei. So he issued a proclamation. Whoever can resolve this matter will be able to take his position. He heard the echo of Zhao Kai. The two immediately drove toward the Gu family. People keep dying inexplicably. His father called in a Taoist priest to exorcise the spirits. But that priest died even more miserably than the family's servants. This action seemed to anger the evil spirit. His father fell seriously ill and was bedridden. Jiang Qing stated that the decline of a wealthy family seemed to mean something different to him. Hongjie shot him a glance. She continued to recount how his mother called yesterday. It seemed like something evil had entered the house. Because of the failure of this marriage, the family fell into decline. In a fit of anger, his father kicked her out of the house. His mother was afraid she would end up homeless, so she bought her half a building. After inviting him inside, Hongjie slowly explained the purpose of her visit. Hongjie's real name is Gu Hongya. She comes from the prominent Gu family in the Jiangbei business community. 10 years ago, she rejected her father's arranged marriage for her. Rewards will be issued shortly. When Jiang Chen returned home, he slept until noon. He was groggily awakened by a series of knocks on the door. He angrily opened the door. I found Hongjie standing outside the door with a look of disappointment. After that, he downplayed the story and began to talk about what happened after escaping into the small forest. The toe bones show no abnormalities. Strictly speaking, Jiang Chen did not personally kill Qin Zhe this time. The underworld has notified everyone that they can leave. He had already secretly hidden the demonic drum behind his back. Qin Zhe's death was inseparable from him. At the moment when the phalanx neared, he gently tapped the demonic sound. Then he circulated the demonic energy to his brain. When asked why they didn't assist Qin Zhe, they responded that they went to eat to regain strength. The answer was reasonably acceptable. The squad leader didn't pester him further. When it was Jiang Chen's turn, since you know the origin of this thing, I hope you'll answer truthfully in the upcoming conversation. He then questioned Chen Shui and Yang Chan one by one. The conclusion was that Qin Zhe harbored malicious intent, deliberately causing the death of his companions. It said that the underworld sent their elite team to eliminate him. After losing more than half of their forces, they managed to sever all 10 of his fingers. The squad captain held the pubic bone upright. The moment they saw the pendant, Yang Chan whispered to Jiang Chen, "These are the remains of Huang Gui." Huang Gui was a blood-clad level entity. His fingers can be used as a lie detector. The follow-up cleanup operation is a bit troublesome. In this group mission, 6 extraordinary individuals were sacrificed. He pulled out a red pendant from his chest. Now I need to ask all of you a routine question. Fearing that the underworld agents would steal his credit, Jiang Chen quickly landed the final blow. Having met several times before, Ghost 444 of the white-collar death whales, the underworld squad leader was already familiar with Jiang Chen. He couldn't help but take a few more looks at this young man who had killed the vengeful spirit. It hasn't entirely vanished yet. Not far away, Yang Chan had already arrived with the underworld's enforcers. They were afraid Jiang Chen couldn't handle the vengeful ghost, so they specifically called for reinforcements from the organization. They just didn't expect that Jiang Chen was already capable of independently killing a ghost of this level. The red tofu brain was taken down along with the salt tissue. The system panel showed no progress in ghostly energy. Jiang Chen sighed softly. As expected of a fierce ghost-level brain, it's still not completely dead. He activates the second power of Lu Li Daxian, the overlord demon form. An immense force begins to surge within him. No wonder he's a renowned demon from Journey to the West. He firmly grasped the brain of the fierce ghost, Bai Ling. He gently lifted it. The reason I hadn't killed him sooner was to use him to eliminate Qin Zhe, that scoundrel. Now that the objective has been achieved, Jiang Chen can finally act, without any reservations. He's still breathing, isn't he? He's not even dead. With a single word, Qin Zhe vanished from this world completely. The underworld organization showed no mercy, turning on each other. It seemed to be showing off to Jiang Chen. He kept slamming Qin Zhe's head against the rock wall. "Didn't you say you'd be rude to me if I killed him? Let me see how rude you can be." Jiang Chen sneered. "I'm going to Jiang Chen. You should say less. Don't provoke him anymore." Sure enough, after hearing Jiang Chen's words, the vengeful spirit struck Qin Zhe heavily. He immediately shouted loudly, "Let go of my good friend. That is my brother. My beloved family and friends. If you dare to kill him, I won't hold back with you anymore." And brothers, but suddenly turned against and harmed others. This vengeful spirit died due to the persecution of a close friend. So, it is very resistant to the word friend. Jiang Chen's eyes shifted. Qin Zhe began to load the gun, but just as he raised his hand, his arm was severed by the evil spirit. "It's you scumbags, calling each other friends. The Qin family will surely repay you in the future." Jiang Chen grinned and spoke. "Why say such things, young Master Qin? I'm here to save you." Seeing Jiang Chen refuse to step aside, "Climbing up might be our only way out." Jiang Chen leaped down, cutting off his only escape route. "Bro, we can talk this through. Spare me a way out." But in reality, most of his attacks were hitting Qin Zhe. After a chase, Qin Zhe was forced to a cliff. He did not give up. There was a small slope nearby. A fierce chase began once again. This time, Qin Zhe couldn't escape. Because Jiang Chen was falling in mid-air, he warned about the anomaly. From time to time, he also shot out a palm thunder downward. He shouted that he was helping to deal with the anomaly. The vengeful spirit chased him into a small grove. Due to the complex terrain, he lost track of Qin Zhe for a moment, but there was still an old six nearby. Jiang Chen shot a lightning bolt towards the bushes where Qin Zhe was hiding. In a critical moment, Xing Zhe draws an ancient fragmented hairpin from his sleeve. A demon-repelling egg worth 10,000 points. It only hindered the vengeful spirit for a few seconds. Qin Zhe saw this and took off running. Already started planning in my mind. When we get back, we must use the Qin family's power to take revenge on him. He strikes the ominous bell again. But the treasure has just exhausted its spiritual power. At this moment, the vengeful spirit, Bai Ling, has already placed a hand on his head. Weird thinking is mostly in a state of confusion. Stimulated by Jiang Chen's words, he immediately turned his attention to Qin Zhe, who was watching the show on the side. Qin Zhe knew something was wrong. Turn around and run away. For a moment, the ghost could not do anything to Jiang Chen. He stood up and moved forward. He restrained the female ghost with both hands. I didn't call out your name. You should kill the person who called your name first. This is his first time facing a ghost of the terrifying level. He is extremely cautious in his heart. Lu Li the Great has the ability to summon small palm thunder. This method is very effective against the supernatural. There is no intense confrontation as imagined, but in reality, he wants Jiang Chen and his team to fight the ghost to mutual destruction. Then he can swoop in and take the spoils. Little did he know, the moment Jiang Chen saw the ghost, he had already activated the Twin Heart Demon card, Lu Li the Immortal, and told them that there was a heavily injured evil spirit behind him. Killing him not only earns a huge amount of points, but also grants entry to a reclusive sect. That's what he says, because his recently revealed combat power is very strong. After hesitating for a moment, the two girls decided to go take a look first. As Jiang Chen and the others walked into the building, they encountered the fleeing Qin Zhe. He pretended to be weak. The Qin Zhe brothers might have also met misfortune. Maybe we should notify Inchao for help right away. Jiang Chen quickly stopped her. Inchao is coming. How else could he harvest the devil's cry? The effect of the Moyne Valley wore off. A saint's scream echoed from the rooftop. After Jiang Chen and the others had their fill, they happened to arrive downstairs at this moment. Chen Shui felt a bit scared upon hearing the scream, leading to their defeat by Wuzong. They willingly took the Shuiyang pill, but Qin Zhe, in order to escape the ghost's pursuit, abandoned the two of them without hesitation. Right after he went downstairs, you just need to outrun your teammate. The man finally revealed his selfish and ruthless side, all for his own escape. He didn't hesitate to abandon his companions' lives. Just moments ago, they helped Qin Zhe complete this mission. Qin Zhe took out the demon sound tiger he bought at the auction. After striking it, the two bodyguards and the vengeful ghost Bai Ling were frozen in place. To avoid being eaten by the hungry wolf, you don't need to outrun it. Qin Zhe was sweating profusely. This is not a mere half-step evil spirit. It's clearly a fully transformed evil spirit. The three of them instantly lost the will to fight, and turned to flee. I broke my skull when I fell off the building. It's always been such a bother. After clearing my head, I suddenly feel refreshed. Bai Ling's clothes gradually turned red. As he was thinking, the strong man finally found an opportunity. He landed a punch right on the eerie creature's forehead. But unexpectedly, after Bai Ling got up, she revealed a creepy smile. Thank you. Meanwhile, the battle on the other side intensified. Qin Zhe didn't expect this strange guy named Bai Ling to be so powerful. Both bodyguards took blood yang pills, yet they still couldn't defeat him. It was clearly a half-step fierce ghost. What went wrong? But the battle just now was too exhausting. I'm a bit hungry. The two girls exchanged smiles. What a coincidence, we're hungry too. Let's grab something to eat and recharge our energy first. The Chen family and the Yang family are both large families. This guy has killed 3 people. The two girls obviously have a bad impression of him, so Jiang Chen took the opportunity to suggest that they should save him. This Qin family seems to be a big clan too. Better not mess with them. Chen Shui and Yang Chan didn't catch the teasing tone in his voice. They all jumped out to comfort Jiang Chen. Don't be afraid of him. Steam is pouring out from his body. His physical strength has been pushed to the limit by the elixir. He can't wait to rush forward and fight the strange entity. Not far away, Jiang Chen and the others also sensed this terrifying aura. Should we go help? The man in black swallowed the blood sun pill without hesitation. If he can complete this mission beyond his level, Brother Zhe can join Wu sect. The Qin family desperately needs a leader. After the pill enters the stomach, what's there to fear? Don't we have the Blood Sun pill? This Blood Sun pill can temporarily unleash immense physical strength, but it also harms the dancer. It has serious side effects on both mind and body. It's usually only used in desperate situations, but their strength is worlds apart. A bodyguard wanted to retreat from the mission. The underworld had issued the wrong task information. Even if he gave up the mission, there would still be compensation. But Qin Zhe was daring beyond measure. Then, under everyone's astonished gaze, he picked up the female ghost's body and began biting into it. Qin Zhe and the others were a bit panicked. The aura on this Bai Ling was at least at the level of a half-ghost. There's only one character difference between a malevolent ghost and a vengeful spirit. A sudden evil wind blows on the rooftop. A thin figure appeared out of nowhere. He gently waved. With a wave, he took off the female ghost's head. "Who's calling my name? You'll die now." The female ghost lets out a strange laugh. "Since that's the case, then let's die together. His name is Bai Ling." "I can't say it. If I say it, we'll all die." Qin Zhe and his group didn't care at all. "Warning, female ghost. If you don't speak." On the other side, Qin Zhe and his group had forced the strange figure on the rooftop into a corner during the competition. The reason they spared his life was to force him to reveal the name of the ultimate boss. The strange figure begged desperately. They thought it was just an ordinary team mission, but it resulted in the deaths of 3 extraordinary people. This strange power was clearly underestimated. If it weren't for Jiang Chen, it's likely none of them would have survived. In the end, even the screams gradually faded. Taking advantage of his weakness, Jiang Chen landed the final blow. After the battle ended, Yan Chan and Chen Shui slowly woke up. Watching helplessly as his companion died before him, Jiang Chen was overwhelmed with grief and rage. The demon and the tree's Feiyu Jade. Scalding raindrops gathered on the head of the demon. He couldn't stop the erosion of the rain. But Sister Chen arrived just in time. She resolutely used her body to block the attack for Jiang Chen. The fist wraps made of black chicken skin have a natural restraint against the eerie forces. She pounded the 4-clawed monster with punch after punch. Both their fates were consumed at the same time. He quickly fell to defeat. Taking advantage of the moment when Jiang Chen let his guard down, he shot his nose out, transforming into a 4-clawed monster. At this moment, it was too late to dodge. The demon and the tree hurriedly sketched. In the form of Jiang Chen, a horn unexpectedly grew from his forehead. In a strange atmosphere, the two began to duel. The director's body just couldn't match that of a 17 or 18-year-old. Yang Chan and Chen Shui couldn't withstand such a strong and strange attack. They both fell unconscious. Seeing how much the director loved to spar, Jiang Chen silently thought to himself. Just as Jiang Chen put his hand on his companion's shoulder, the dean suddenly appeared. Improper interactions between boys and girls are a serious violation of school rules, he shouted, and his nose shot forward like a cannonball. You can spend 1,000 demonic points to upgrade the system. After the upgrade, new enhancement features will be unlocked. While Jiang Chen was waiting for the system upgrade, he faintly sensed someone peeking at him from behind. He didn't forget that there was still a demon transformed from the director lurking in this building. The female ghost was quickly shattered into pieces. After getting another batch of ghost cries, the system has finally met the advanced requirements. Congratulations, host. Demonic points have surpassed 5,000. He seized the opportunity. He ruthlessly stirred up the ghost's emotions. After harvesting a bunch of ghost cries, Jiang Chen immediately began to exorcise the drowned ghost, under the suppression of Benboba's demonic power. But at this moment, Jiang Chen, transformed into the form of Benboba, was also a master of playing with water. Just as he was searching for the female ghost's traces, a drop of water suddenly dripped onto his shoulder. From the ceiling, a delicate-looking female ghost dropped down. Come play in the water with me. He couldn't afford to delay. He hurriedly summoned demonic power to break apart the 2 water spheres. Yan Chan and Chen Shui took deep breaths of fresh air. The two reminded Jiang Chen that there was still a female ghost on this floor who could control water. Jiang Chen's perception ability instantly enhanced. All the water droplets felt like his own eyes, capable of sensing everything in this layer. At this moment, Yang Chan and Chen Shui were wrapped in a large mass of water, and it seemed even breathing was somewhat difficult for them. To be safe, he directly used the running card from Benboba. If I remember correctly, he should be a water attribute little monster from Journey to the West. After transforming, Jiang Chen leaped directly onto the 5th floor. There was an inexplicable amount of standing water on the ground. If this was created by some strange force, it would definitely be dangerous to step in carelessly. This was another top-tier evil spirit. Just after he finished with it, Chen Shui's cry for help came through his earphones. We're on the 5th floor. Jiang Chen, hurry. With a tug on a few transparent threads, the red-haired ghost woman in the dark finally appeared. Jiang Chen showed no mercy. He swiftly decapitated the female ghost. The cursed spirit, ghost whale number 199, is dead. Sharp claws grew from his fingertips. Working in sync with Sister Sun beside him, the two of them quickly sent the puppet flying chaotically. The strange figure controlling the puppet from the shadows exposed a flaw in panic. Jiang Chen grabbed them in one swift move. The torso in the middle looked like an oversized rag doll. Seeing that her little trick had been exposed, the female ghost controlling the puppet revealed her true form. Jiang Chen unleashed the demonic power within him. He transformed into the silver general form he had taken before. Long periods of controlling the puppet to speak have made her hands sore. During this process, Jiang Chen also absorbed a large amount of demonic energy. Then he suddenly ripped off Zhang Su's clothes. It was obvious that his limbs and head had been stitched together. By accident, I just happened to find the puppet's weakness. Controlling the puppet's movements is very strenuous for the red-haired female ghost. Jiang Chen is also happy to pretend he hasn't noticed and keeps talking to Zhang Su. This prevents Zhang Su from finding an opportunity to launch a sneak attack. The red-haired female ghost hiding in the shadows is also getting more and more exhausted. He grabbed Zhang Su's hand and began interacting with the puppet in front of him. The reason Jiang Chen didn't take action, it's still to bring out the strange presence behind him. By the way, I can also take advantage of the situation. Seeing that her companion was safe, Sister Sun was especially happy. But Jiang Chen's senses had been greatly enhanced by demonic power. He had already noticed traces of stitches on the man before Sister Sun could react. It's a bit strange. He clearly has sustained serious injuries and shouldn't have been able to go far. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhang Su slowly walked out from around the corner. Still, another prey has come knocking, even though they saw through her mark. But I still have one left here. On the other side, Jiang Chen and the others searched all the way to the third floor. They still didn't see Zhang Su's figure. A slender figure emerged from the shadows. At her feet was a torn rag doll. The girl sighed. She was just about to have fun with that blonde guy. But unfortunately, the director beat her to it. Jiang Chen reminded Sister Sun to be cautious. The exact number of strange entities in this building is still unclear. The two continued searching upstairs. Right after they left, the note on the ground was picked up. Seeing this, Jiang Chen, he quickly wrapped his hand with demonic energy and successfully grabbed the disappearing note. This was clearly another strange trick. He casually tossed the note aside. Jiang Chen interrupted Sister Sun somewhat awkwardly, asking, "Is the note you mentioned like this?" Sister Sun was instantly flustered. She immediately tried to rip it off. But once the note is stuck to the body, it would be pulled away at lightning speed. This question actually uncovered some other information. He remembered that shortly after the three entered the dormitory, Lu Kai had a note stuck to his back. This thing comes quickly and goes just as fast. He thought he was seeing things. Maybe he is still alive. To find him, the four decided to search separately. Jiang Chen and Sister Sun formed one group. On the way, he began to ask Sister Sun for more detailed experiences. He could only pray that the bizarre intelligence wasn't high. The four of them entered the girls' dormitory together. They quickly found Lu Kai on the floor. He had already lost his life. The body of another male companion had yet to be found. If they wanted to rescue them, they couldn't break school rules. Jiang Chen casually picked up a wig that was drying downstairs and put it on his head. Given the current situation, the woman couldn't resist at all. She could only run for her life. Then she encountered Jiang Chen and the other two, who came to the rescue. At this point, the two riders in the dorm building were still unaccounted for. It can also shoot out like a bullet. With just a simple clash, both men are severely injured. What's worse is, the nose turned into a palm-like monster after being shot out. Their strength had been halved by the school rules. At this moment, there's no way to deal with this bizarre creature. In the blink of an eye, the headmaster swiftly retracts his nose. Not only can it extend, only then did it barely fall down. The last companion seized the moment and slashed at the strange being's forehead. Though the creature felt pain, its body remained unscathed. Caught off guard, he was pierced through. Another companion rushed in to rescue him, but the strange figure was incredibly fierce. The nose stretched sideways like malice itself. Fortunately, the man held a black donkey hoof. It seems to be a special curse. Everyone is left with only half of their strength. Even so, we can't just sit and wait for death. A few of them dragged their heavy bodies into close combat with the Dean. Lu Kai, charging in front, didn't expect that the bizarre nose could extend. The 3 violated school rules. Punishment will be enforced. As soon as he finished speaking, a strong wave of ghostly energy enveloped everyone. They noticed a mark automatically appearing on their necks. Just after they entered the girls' dormitory, the dean, who was already possessed, suddenly appeared. He pointed to the 2 boys who trespassed into the girls' dormitory, then looked at a woman in the room, carrying a controlled weapon. As he spoke, tears uncontrollably welled up in his eyes. My companion was severely injured right in front of me. His fate is still unknown. After calming down a bit, he slowly recounted what had happened earlier. After temporarily escaping danger, the only girl in the scattered team remarked, "Joining a D-class group mission isn't easy at all. We've been tricked by Chin Zhe." Beside him stood a strangely shaped object. He suddenly stopped in his tracks. The spider-like thing on the ground flew back to the man's nose. He rubbed his nose and turned away. "Next time you break school rules, you won't be so lucky," he said as he left. At that moment, a shadow suddenly appeared. Yang Chan instinctively swung a large stick, but he realized too late that he had hit a teammate. Not far behind the girl, a man with a dog was staring intently at them. "Let's just follow his lead." The scene shifts. Jiang Chen and the other 2 have already arrived below the girls' dormitory. The hallway was pitch black. A few people hesitated, unsure whether to go in, but their situation sounds a bit dire. If we delay any longer, it might be too late. Chin Zhe's expression suddenly turned cold. Another strong man stepped forward to ease the tension. Brother Zhe definitely has his own plan, and quickly came up to ask if he should go over. Chin Zhe remained calm. "Of course we should go. But first, we need to find out the name of the forbidden ghost." The blue-haired bodyguard hesitated. They were all clinging to him like they were seeking support. They certainly wouldn't think that the famous Qin family would go against them. On the other side, Qin Zhe also heard the plea for help through the headset. However, he showed no intention of going to help. The bodyguard behind him noticed he wasn't moving, but she still stubbornly asked. "Yang Kai and the others are experienced disciples after all. Surely they can see through this little bit." "That's not certain." When Qin Zhe arrived, one of the rules in the taboo is that school regulations cannot be violated. In theory, males are not allowed to enter the girls' dormitory. Yet Qin Zhe arranged for 3 stragglers to deal with the evil spirit on the rooftop. Isn't that clearly setting it up for 2 of them to break the rules? After listening to his explanation, Yang Chan understood. Yang Chan was impulsive by nature. After receiving the distress signal, I prepared to go for the rescue. But when I turned around, I found that the 2 people beside me were gone. Jiang Chen finally noticed that something was off. Qin Zhe had malicious intentions when assigning tasks. At the same time, a distress call came through the headset from the scattered squad. They were facing more than one top-level ghost. The 3 of them were under attack from both sides. A team member had already been killed. It can make its tongue spin rapidly around its body. Their attacks couldn't break through this layer of defense. In the end, it was Jiang Chen who had Yang Chan fling him into the air. Taking advantage of the opening above during the spin was how they dealt with that strange creature. "The old woman in front of us is just a wandering ghost on campus. Now is not the time to think about that." With the help of Yang Chan and Chen Shui, Jiang Chen began to battle this top-level evil ghost. The long snake ghost has a particularly disgusting move. It no longer matches the task description issued by the underworld. Jiang Chen can only use the heart transformation card, White Tiger Vanguard. The threat level marked in the task is Earth Armor, but this kind of top-tier evil spirit requires multiple extraordinary individuals to deal with it. Another boost to his ghost energy. Of course, this action also angered the old lady. The red thread sealing his mouth began to break. The aura of this long snake demon is clearly that of a top-tier evil spirit. At this point, once he had reaped enough benefits, he dealt with this strange entity without using the demon capture card. The same thing happened later when he encountered the old lady burning paper money. Jiang Chen didn't waste any words. He simply put out her fire pit with a stream of urine. This ensures that there are no other disturbances during the final battle. At first glance, this arrangement seems very reasonable. Jiang Chen also begins to deal with the first running ghost. These little ghosts are not very strong. He took this opportunity to continuously provoke the emotions of the running ghost. Qin Zhe begins to assign tasks. He and his 2 bodyguards are responsible for dealing with the school rule ghost and the competition ghost. 3 lone wanderers are tasked with handling the stabbing ghost on the rooftop. Meanwhile, Jiang Chen and his team need to clear the wandering little ghosts on campus. The girl who jumped violated school rules. She should be another powerful entity. The last entity that cannot be named is most likely the girl who fell to her death. As the leader of this mission, After giving Jiang Chen a good beating, they decided to complete the group task first. According to past experience, the 3 taboos represent 3 powerful entities. Going up to the rooftop should lead to persecution, but he will definitely not be with you. Seeing Yang Chan's angry and embarrassed expression, Jiang Chen knew he was right. He always felt that this girl looked down on him, and her gaze at Lin Yue was also off. So he stepped forward and harshly warned Jiang Chen that as a local-level chess player, he was unworthy of Weiwei. Jiang Chen, unwilling to back down, stepped forward and said, "Even if I am a local-level chess player, even if I have no money or power, I am still a man. Even if Lin Yue looks down on me." Yang Chan was also surprised to see Jiang Chen here. He had always opposed her best friend dating him. It's because ordinary people and chess players are 2 different worlds. Yet Jiang Chen silently became a chess player. Doesn't this bring him closer to Lin Yue? The big stick flying in from a distance was a complete surprise to Jiang Chen. The girl's name is Yang Chan. She's Jiang Chen's classmate. She's also Lin Yue's best friend. The 2 have known each other for a long time. He also learned that the strength of everyone present was mostly at the same level. Then, Qin Zhe, whom he had encountered in the ghost market, arrived with 2 bodyguards. Although they were all at the earth level, the 3 strange individuals in the room were very attentive to Qin Zhe. It's clear that they've heard of the Qin family. Chen Shui and Jiang Chen rushed to the meeting place together. There are already 3 strangers at the location. They have arrived. Jiang Chen sensed that the aura they emitted was no weaker than Eru's. After a brief exchange, according to information gathered from the underworld, 3 taboos have emerged on the campus. It can be speculated that the student who fell became a malevolent spirit, triggering these supernatural events. Night falls again. A bullying incident occurred at a school. A girl was abused by her roommate with knitting needles. While fleeing, she crashed through the rooftop railing, fell to his death. After he died, people kept hearing voices saying we would all return after death. Good magical tools are hard to find. The lesser ones aren't much use to him. Open the underworld. The group mission has just been issued. Let me introduce something from 5 years ago. Jiang Chen realized the gap between himself and the noble families. A single, Demon Sound Valley, was auctioned for 30,000 points. The one who bought it was Qin Zhe from earlier. Afterward, Jiang Chen said goodbye to Chen Shui. He only had a few thousand points. A beautiful woman walked out of the store. Chen Shui told Jiang Chen, "This shop is owned by Lin Baozong, and Lin Baozong is one of the top matchmakers in Jiangbei City." After the woman displayed today's goods, "He's from the Qin family. He's also the leader of tomorrow's group mission." He and Chen Shui are clearly acquainted. They exchanged greetings. Shortly after, Jiang Chen still experienced a colorful and eventful Valentine's Day. Finally, Chen Shui brought him to a very luxurious shop. A large crowd had already gathered there. Chen Shui pointed out a young man with a green armband. His name is Qin Zhe. For instance, he took a liking to a short knife glimmering with a cold light. Chen Shui immediately realized that the shopkeeper had tampered with it. After he tore off a talisman from the knife handle, the once brand new blade turned into a piece of scrap metal. Although they didn't gain anything along the way, generally, extraordinary people wouldn't dare to provoke this lineage. Shang Jiangchen discovered many strange items. Divine weapons, magical treasures, and elixirs are all available. However, the waters here run deep. Most people can't handle it. It still doesn't reveal her identity. This is something everyone understands. However, Jiang Chen noticed that Chen Shui didn't wear a mask. The young girl patted the Chen character embroidered badge on her arm. The Chen family is also a well-known aristocratic family. The market of the strange realm is hidden in an alley. Because it is shielded by a magical formation, you can't enter without an introduction from someone familiar. After entering the ghost market, Chen Shui thoughtfully prepared a mask for her. He specifically invited Jiang Chen to join. This young girl doesn't seem to have any bad intentions. Jiang Chen naturally agreed right away. However, before that, Chen Shui first needed to take her to the ghost market to pick up some gear. The rest of the demonizing cards sounded powerful just by their names. After organizing everything, Chen Shui's call also came in. There is a group task tomorrow. The rewards are high and the risks are low. Jiang Chen only had one 2-star demonizing card left in his hand. He planned to draw a few 1-star cards. Self-defense 1-star demonizing card, White Tiger Vanguard 1-star demonizing card, Ben Boba. After thinking for a while, he ended up drawing another 2-star demonizing card. Except for Ben Boba being different from what he imagined. ENGSUB used special means to examine Tangen. There is indeed a trace of humanity remaining. This strange phenomenon can increase their success rate of possessing him by 40%. After erasing the memories of ordinary people, a group of people safely returned to campus. Although her background was tragic, but he has already turned into an evil spirit. His mind is filled only with killing and destruction. But the moment he recognized his best friend just now, seems to prove that he still retains a trace of humanity. The leader was the same woman from last time. The underworld people surrounded the ordinary citizens in the venue. They can control a special nightmare ghost from a haunted house. It can erase a segment of human memory. Finally, there was the water ghost, Sun Miling. Just as the girl finished speaking, the female ghost on the ground suddenly shed tears. It seemed as if she regained a trace of humanity. At the same time, the people from the underworld arrived. She called and said she was noticed by the young master of the Jing family. He's been pursuing her madly. After a while, Sun Dai no longer received letters from Miling. Her main reason for applying at the villa was to look for her best friend. She leaned next to the frenzied ghost and observed for a long time, finally confirming that it was her best friend Sun Miling from the same village. At that time, the two of them had gone to interview at Jingshi group together. Sun Miling was assigned to the manor. Not long after that, without protection, Jing Xiaoming was like a fish on a chopping block, at their mercy. After the vengeful ghost had her revenge, Jiang Qing captured him and regrouped with his classmates. At this moment, the female employee who had briefly met Jiang Chen suddenly poked her head out. Jing Xiaoming has killed many people to break the curse. Scum like him doesn't deserve to live. The two found Jing Xiaoming's hiding place and released the water ghost. Then, it allows the strange occurrences to kill around him. After venting his anger, the resentment will decrease. Naturally, the curse will slowly disappear. It goes without saying that the ghostly handprint on Jing Xiaoming's back was fading. It's because the curse is being erased. According to Eru, the housekeeper used a sacrificial method to perform an exorcism. This method covers Jing Xiaoming's aura with numerous talismans. This wealthy heir is clearly the murderer of the girl. It's a pity that he escaped in the chaos just now. The Jing family hired someone from Anmeng as the steward. They must be using Anmeng's forbidden techniques to erase the resentment. Jiang Qin noticed earlier. Human B-level experts are about half as strong as Blood Robe level. By the time he can draw a 3-star demon card, the demon's pursuit will be nothing to worry about. The girl who became a vengeful spirit is also a tragic figure. The ghostly handprint on Zhang's back was left by him. Through this, he understood his own strength. A 1-star demon can kill an evil spirit. A 2-star can kill a fierce ghost. And so on. A 3-star can kill a Blood Robe level entity. All his skills were given by the system. Even the old man who adopted him hadn't been seen for a long time. Jiang Chen was not afraid. After all, he already had the curse of the 7th disease. One more doesn't matter. The blood talisman is issued by the Dark Alliance headquarters. Killing someone who bears the blood talisman will be on the Dark Alliance's hunt list. Zhao Eru urged him to quickly discuss countermeasures with his family behind him. Only Jiang Qin knew. Now, this is trouble. The Dark Alliance is full of weirdos. Some are foreigners. Some are soul refiners. They use their extraordinary abilities to commit crimes. Zhang Xianhai suddenly launched a sneak attack. Jiang Qin showed no mercy. He directly killed him. The blood talisman seemed to have a life of its own. Directly branded onto Jiang Qin's arm. I have the blood mansion of the Dark Mong. Eru, who was beside him, explained. This is a unique method of the Dark Mont. It serves to mark the killer. But just when Jiang Chen stopped, with the victory army joining in, the already weakened Zhang Xianhai was quickly subdued. Just as Jiang Chen was about to deliver the fatal blow, he suddenly ripped open his sleeve. You can't kill me. Jiang Chen came riding the waves. How will Eru fight? Kill the people first, or kill the ghosts first? Zhao Eru hurriedly stopped his movements. I fight ghosts, you fight people. The first to die will definitely be Zhao Eru. He squeezed the bayonet in his hand. This thing consumes one's lifespan. He really doesn't want to use it. Just as he was preparing to fight for his life. However, his condition is already very poor. On the opposite side, Zhang Xianhai isn't doing any better. He has lost too much energy. He appears to be somewhat weak. If this continues, Jing Xiaoming's accomplice, stop pretending. It seems that the supernatural events in the manor are still closely related to this young Master Zhang. The scene shifts to the shore. Zhao Eru is still grappling with the ghostly servant. He desperately spoke like a murderer. You won't have a good death in the future. Jiang Qin stopped what he was doing. Helping a murderer. What are you talking about? The female ghost's eerie aura was completely shattered. He spread his fingers wide, and unleashed Yi Hailong's water prison skill. The female ghost was utterly subdued. It's just that the tied-up position is somewhat shameful. Then Jiang Chen starts to attack the seaweed floating above his head. Due to the female ghost's intense emotional fluctuations, the system panel kept showing a surge of ghostly energy. After exploiting quite a bit, Jiang Chen activated the full-body enhancement state of Yi Hailong. Relying on his own speed underwater, Jiang Chen circles behind the female ghost. He hugs her tightly. The water ghost Sun Miling arrives in shock. The evil ghost abandons his home, transforming into a sea dragon. From the name, it's clear it's a water-type demon beast. This transformation is just right. One person and one ghost begin to battle. The battlefield gradually shifts to the bottom of the lake. In the next second, he jumped into the lake. This is a great opportunity to harvest the ghost's tears. How could I possibly let it go? The female ghost saw him coming. She immediately turned around and chased after him. He loudly warned Eru to be careful. The ghost woman in the river behind him had already locked onto him. Don't worry about me. You go back to the dorm first and protect the others. Jiang Cheng agreed on the surface. Zhang Xianhai immediately bit his own finger. Blood turned into a thread and entered the body of the ghost slave. His body suddenly grew even larger. Zhao Eru was forced step by step to the riverbank. At that moment, Jiang Qing arrived. One of the 6 major forces under his command is the Dragon Image Temple. It seems that who has quite a background. He quickened his pace towards there. At this moment, Zhao who was not feeling well. After he used the ultimate skill of the Dragon Image Temple. In this situation, he could only fight for his life. The dragon-like golden light was akin to the Buddha's aura. In an instant, the soaring Buddhist light was clearly visible from 100 meters away. On the other side, Jiang Chen also saw it. He has read some records related to the Tao Alliance. His whole body trembled. The ghostly aura around him began to drift toward the ghost servant. The ghost servant seemed to have received a great boost. The aura surrounding him became even stronger. Zhao Eru took off his coat. He almost pierced through him. Zhang Xianhai sneered and swiftly killed one, breaking through a Zhao family disciple at level C. This earns a reward of 1,000 points in the Dark Alliance. At this thought, Zhang Xianhai took off the glass orb hanging on his chest and immediately released his crafted ghost slaves. He intended to kill to silence them. Zhao Eru hurriedly used his magic to defend, but the ghost slave was very strong. Zhao Eru knew this wouldn't end peacefully. The Zhang Xianhai in front of him had already killed many people. If word got out, he would surely be punished by the underworld and the Tao Alliance. Sure enough, Zhao Eru looked at his injured arm. The technique makes ghosts cry. You're from the ghost sect, aren't you? Good eyes, young man. Zhang Xianhai from the ghost sect. To ensure that the classmates can all retreat safely, the only way is to capture Zheng Xiaoming as a hostage. Unfortunately, his clever scheme was foiled by the butler by Zheng Xiaoming's side. In just a breath, the two exchanged more than a dozen moves. Zhao Eru had many thoughts flash through his mind. Then he suddenly exerted himself, charging towards Zheng Xiaoming. The manner was eerie all around. This matter is definitely related to the Zheng family. Suddenly, applause came from behind. Who would have thought there'd be someone like you among those worthless classmates? Let me introduce you. This is my butler. Looking at the suddenly appearing Zheng Xiao, he successfully returned to the shore. Right now, he can't keep getting tangled up with the ghost. If he hadn't sensed the ghostly aura here just now, he wouldn't have left his classmates to come here just as he was about to turn back. But it did help Zhao Eru out of a tight spot. He sprinted towards the shore. After all, the water wasn't his home turf. As he retreated, he exchanged one more move with the female ghost, using the force from that. Luckily, he carried a treasure with him. The moment he turned on the chanting machine with 108 monks reciting scriptures, all the surrounding water plants dissipated. The female ghost also reacted painfully to the sound of Buddha. Unfortunately, using this thing to fight the strange stone drains a lot of power. You must be prepared for death. Under the fierce attack of the ghost woman, Zhao Eru gradually fell into a disadvantage. This strange entity can manipulate water plants to attack. The water plants around him kept gathering more and more. The two stood on the water, eyeing each other. The female ghost struck first. In his understanding, the lake water is his territory. Dare to step into this place. Under the barrier. Monsters, right to me. A deep pit was created in the lake. It vaguely resembles the image of a female ghost. Zhao Eru leaped forward. Not only did he scatter the seaweed on the supervisor, but he also threw him back onto the shore. The seaweed immediately shifted its target. But Zhao Eru wasn't afraid at all. He brought his hands together in front of his chest, forming the hand seal of the great third sister. The flustered supervisor momentarily forgot this rule. Countless seaweed emerged from the lake's surface. Just as he was about to be dragged into the lake, a strong hand grasped him. Zhao Eru waved his hand and struck him with a blade. All the staff at the lodge are informed on their first day of a rule that after nightfall, no matter what happens, they cannot cross the wooden bridge inside the lodge. Due to the recent string of student disappearances tonight, Jiang Chen had Zhao Xiaodong guard Yang Ji while he hid in the shadows. After a short while, the security guard who had turned into a vengeful ghost appeared. Jiang Chen quietly approached him from behind. His behavior was strange. It seemed he was trapped in a bizarre illusion. The urgent task was to deal with the strange threat lurking behind. Only then could he return to normal. Thinking of this, scarred all over. But during the escape, I got separated from Yang Ji. Just as I was saying this, Yang Ji suddenly appeared ahead. Jiang Chen stopped Zhao Xiaodong, who wanted to greet him. He could tell that the classmate in front of him was no longer human. Zhao Xiaodong hugged him and cried bitterly. He shouted loudly that there was a ghost here. It turned out he had been chased and attacked by those two ghosts all the way to the bathroom. His back was slashed, blood and flesh in a mess, and got up to head towards the restroom to look for Yang Ji and Zhao Xiaodong. He took a few steps forward. Suddenly, he saw Zhao Xiaodong trembling in the corner. Seeing that it was Jiang Chen, according to Li Jie, these two ghosts would deal with the bodies after killing someone. The bodies haven't been dealt with yet. They should still be here. Jiang Chen immediately pulled out the knife from the body. The body is wearing the manor staff's uniform. Thick blood is pooling on the floor. Jiang Chen reaches out to touch it. It's still a bit warm. It should have just died not long ago. There's definitely more than one ghost in here. Jiang Chen checks his phone and glances around the restaurant. Suddenly, he notices a dead face with wide-open eyes. A knife is stuck in the neck, so the matter was kept under wraps. Jiang Chen thought, these must be the two ghosts that Li Jie encountered in the restroom. Then Jiang Chen walked towards the dining room, lost in his thoughts. Before he even entered, he smelled a strong stench of blood. It seemed like there was an extra set of footsteps behind him. The next day, people found the old security guard had also been killed in the bathroom. His neck twisted backward when he died. The posture is quite strange because it's an elderly recluse. Out of fear, he quickly ran downstairs, planning to call for help. But as he ran, the old security guard felt something was off. The last group of employees all died. Supervisor Wu has only recently been transferred here. One of the deceased was the old security guard from the last shift. During one of his night patrols, he stumbled upon a murder case in the foot massage room on the second floor of the restaurant. He needed to stay and protect most of the students. Jiang Chen headed toward the cafeteria. I ran into Supervisor Wu, who looked flustered. After some pressing, I learned about the situation at the manor. It turns out a lot of strange things have happened here. He didn't want to make things difficult for the class teacher either. He exchanged a glance with his close friend. Eru told Jiang Chen to go find the missing student. He stayed behind to protect everyone. It meant that he thought he was strong enough. The homeroom teacher called back the scattered crowd. After counting heads, they found that two people were missing. Yang Ji and Zhao Xiaodong were the lackeys of Zheng Deshao. To be honest, Jiang Chen didn't want to save them. It's just that the class teacher is usually a pushover. Fortunately, everything that just occurred was merely in a bizarre illusion. Then Jiang Chen took Xiao Qian back. He only said that he was being targeted by a serial killer. Fortunately, Jiang Chen found her in time. That's how she escaped disaster. As the moonlight fades away, the gardener and his flower room are completely purified. The gardener's death cry has reached level 99. All the strange potted plants previously transformed into human forms. Zhao Qian's severed thigh also regrows automatically. Golden light bursts from the horns on his head, intertwining with the moon in the sky. The bull howls at the moon. Purification of all beings. An immense, boundless power descends from the heavens. After a few punches, Jiang Chen is already out of breath. The gardener sees his weak appearance and starts to mock him. Little does he know that Jiang Chen is waiting for this chance to get close. Turns out you were worried about hurting my treasure. Then he manipulates the plants on Zhao Qian, forcing him to throw a punch. Jiang Chen hesitates for a moment and can only take the hits passively. A huge pair of scissors came rushing at him. He was almost cut in half. Seeing the sneak attack fail, the gardener comes directly to Zhao Qian's side. I was wondering why you kept running away. Taking advantage of Jiang Chen's limited movement, the gardener sent him flying into the flower room. He looked in Zhao Qian's direction. No, I still need to move the battlefield outside. Just as he was about to act. But this thing is bizarre. Too sinister. The buds on the scissors automatically avoid the areas wrapped in demonic energy, once again sending the gardener flying. Jiang Qing suddenly realized that his feet were entangled by the dead branches on the ground. Then, he once again opened his giant shears, attacking Jiang Chen. Rapidly retreating, Jiang Chen realized that these scissors are really tough to deal with. After a dead tree branch was cut by them, it immediately sprouted new buds. He could only use his demonic energy to wrap his fist and fight the scissors. Jiang Chen hurriedly kicked him away. He clearly felt the sprout trying to pierce his skin and take root. Luckily, his waist guard protected him from it. The gardener revealed a sinister smile. My 10,000 sword body can't be blocked barehanded. But after just a few punches, Jiang Chen realizes something is wrong. Many tender shoots start growing on the blade of the scissors. It automatically attached itself to Jiang Chen's fist. This weapon is strange. Li Xian seems to still have a breath left. Maybe the girl can still be saved. A more intense battle begins. The gardener's martial arts aren't outstanding. He can only hold the giant cocoon in front of his chest to defend, growing to several times their original size. He wanted to turn the man in front of him into fertilizer. He swung the shears and hurled them at Jiang Chen. A powerful shockwave blasted a giant hole in the greenhouse. Jiang Chen deliberately shifted the fight outside. He throws a punch. The force of his body slams into the bizarre potted plants in the greenhouse. He hated the man in front of him. All his hard work had been destroyed. The gardening shears in his hand began to mutate. Transforms into a demon, Carter faces the world. The intoxicating feeling of power surges through his body again. Sharp bone spikes emerge from his joints. Randomly draws the 800-mile demon fist, seizing the moment of the gardener's surprise. Even though he carefully tended to each plant, why would such a mutated one appear? Such an ugly flower had no place in his greenhouse. At the moment he got closer, Jiang Chen focuses his will. The gardener at the end of the greenhouse also heard the noise. Suddenly turned his head, originally out of suspicion. At Ghost Cry's house number 15, he followed the sound, and found a strange potted plant in front of him. By the time he found Zhao Qian, the young girl no longer looked human. Her thighs were stained with blotches of blood. The moment she saw Jiang Chen, she made a faint, excited gurgling sound. As if trapped in a labyrinth, he tried focusing his demonic power on his eyes. Finally, in the desolate back garden, he saw something different. On the surface, this looks like a greenhouse, but the plants inside are made from living people. He cleared away the extra branches from the girl's arms. Afterwards, the young bonsai girl was perfectly pruned. Jiang Chen wandered around the estate for a long time. He still couldn't find any trace of the missing classmate. He kept circling inside, because only by doing this can she deserve the title of the most beautiful female employee in her villa. Next up is the main event of today. The newly arrived bonsai thigh is indeed round, but its overall look is somewhat uncoordinated. Next, a copper wire needs to be inserted to reshape it. The cactus is the most mischievous potted plant in the flower house. She often makes little moves. The overall aesthetic of the human-shaped bonsai is compromised. At this point, the gardener can only take out her own scissors. She trims away the excess parts. The man has turned a flower season girl into a potted plant. And every day, he trims the excess branches on her body. She is a diligent gardener. Every day, she works in her flower house. However, her collection is quite eerie. That there had never been a gardener hired here. After understanding what had happened, Jiang Chen quietly stepped behind the others. Meanwhile, in a greenhouse at the back garden of the estate, a man dressed as a gardener is carefully trimming a newly arrived humanoid potted plant. Since they parted ways, they haven't seen her, and the homeroom teacher is anxious. He was sweating profusely. He called the estate manager. He hoped the manager could help investigate the gardener's information. But the manager told everyone. After asking around, we found out that a female student had gone missing. According to her two close friends, the three of them were strolling around the estate during the day. The missing student, Zhao Qian, was attracted to a handsome gardener. She left her two friends to go talk to him. They were the alien transformation card Te Chusher and the alien transformation card Sea Dragon. After dealing with the evil spirit transformed by the guest room ant, the group headed to the main hall of the villa. A lot of students have gathered here. The scene is a bit chaotic. In no time, it was swallowed by the lake and disappeared. The body, which had lost its support in the guest room, collapsed with a loud thud. A single evil spirit brought Jiang Chen a total of 300 ghostly energy. He also had a 2-star transformation card, the Daxian Lulu, that he hadn't used. So, he casually drew 2 alien transformation cards to keep on hand. The maid died. tears of the ghost plus 99. The evil spirit that fell into the lake wouldn't have died so easily. But before he could fly back to shore, countless golden threads suddenly emerged from the lake, wrapping around his head. Who knew that upon hearing this, the auntie suddenly became interested. "Young man, is this the head swap you were talking about?" Jiang Chen didn't give him time to react. He snatched the ball and kicked it out the window. "Ran in here late at night to spy on a female classmate. Are you jealous of her looks? You might as well stop thinking about it. If you want to have looks like that, you'll have to change your face." He startled the cleaning lady by shouting in her ear. The cleaning lady was frightened. During the Devil May Cry dance, he righteously put his arm around the female classmate next to him. "This auntie, you're such a big one. What if I can't fit it into my trash bag? Looks like I'll have to take you apart and put you in." Just then, Jiang Chen suddenly appeared out of nowhere. This scene was caught in full view by the trio waiting nearby. Zhao Era muttered, "What is this? Collecting trash? This looks like they're after a life." Meanwhile, inside the room, the cleaning lady had found the girl's hiding spot. She pulled out a black plastic bag. "Little girl, do you need room service?" The girl didn't have time to be afraid. She quickly retreated to her room. But the cleaning lady wasn't planning to let him go. She followed him right into the room. It was just the cleaning lady collecting trash. "I really scared myself." Just as he was about to turn around, the cleaning lady in front suddenly stopped. "What's wrong, miss?" The more she thought about it, the more scared she became. She was convinced that she hadn't seen wrong just now. She listened carefully. There seemed to be faint footsteps outside the door. She poked her head out to secretly check. Just as he's adjusting his position, he accidentally notices an extra pair of eyes on the screen. Her boyfriend on the video quickly reminded her to look back, but there was clearly no one behind her. After hanging up the call, and the missing employees, all these signs suggest something is definitely wrong in this manner. As night falls, the girl is video chatting with her boyfriend, but she was reprimanded by the supervisor rushing over from behind. The girl didn't dare to speak anymore. Jiang Chen and the others could only leave with their hearts full of confusion. The conspiracy in the restroom. The water ghost in the lake. Her name is Sun Dai. Even the uniforms they wear are from the last cleaner. Officially, it was said that a group of employees was laid off, but the servants in the manor are spreading rumors that they have actually died. Sun Dai wanted to continue speaking. "A woman died in this lake. Since then, whenever someone touches the water, they inexplicably fall in and drown." The girl in front of him just arrived. Jiang Chen tapped her on the shoulder from behind, intending to ask about the manor, but the cleaning lady was so startled that she flung her broom away. Jiang Chen was about to bend down to pick up the broom. Suddenly, the cleaner behind him shouted to stop him. They were preparing to return to their place. While passing by the wooden bridge over the lake, they happened to encounter a cleaning lady who was sweeping the ground. However, she seemed a bit distracted. After hearing his story, Hu and Jiang Chen burst into laughter. After all, with their abilities, they didn't take such a scary little ghost seriously. After comforting him for a while, he noticed there was no one inside. He suddenly pulled open the door. The cubicle was filled with the word, "kill," written everywhere. So he rushed out of the bathroom in a panic. He told his two friends about what he saw and heard. The other responded, "Why not just throw him into the lake to feed the water ghosts?" Hearing this, Li Jie wanted to turn around and run, but he realized the stall wasn't locked. Through the gap, but faint whispers were coming from one of the stalls. He was curious. He tiptoed closer to listen. There were clearly two people talking inside. One of them said, "After we kill him, where should we bury him?" They played until dusk. Li Jie suddenly felt the urge to pee. After parting ways with the two, he headed to the restroom. The restroom was empty. He became even more certain that Hu was one of them, who skipped stones with a huge rock the size of their chest. Mainly because Hu didn't hide his strength in front of the two. That big rock, it felt like he was breaking tiles with it. It spans over a lake. However, Jiang Chen noticed that the bridge and the lake were a bit too clean. It was as if no one had been here for a long time. Pack up the luggage. Jiang Chen invited two buddies to the lakeside to skip stones. The pool fountain is intact. The life of the wealthy is just this simple and unadorned. There is a beautiful maid guiding everyone to the accommodation to settle their luggage. This manor is incredibly vast. There's even a bridge in the backyard. But why did he invite everyone to his home? At the time when half of it is being dispelled, the bus smoothly drove toward the suburbs, and finally stopped outside a manor. The classmates were all drawn to the attention of this luxurious house. He organizes the classmates to line up and get on the bus. Jiang Chen notices the ghostly handprint behind him dimmed a little. can help him dispel the strange curse. It seems that there is also someone from his family in Jing Xiaoming's home. Their relationship is so good that they often refer to each other as father and son. Today, upon seeing them, Jiang Chen unexpectedly discovers that Hu is radiating a golden light. It seems this good brother is not an ordinary person. At this moment, young Master Jing appears. Because he usually had a good relationship with his classmates, Jiang Chen didn't plan to stay out of it. The next day, a bus was waiting at the school gate early. Li Jia and Zhao Eru were Jiang Chen's best friends at school. The three of them share a common bond. Jiang Chen knows that Jing Xiaoming's father isn't much better than Zhou Bapi. He definitely wouldn't be so kind. The main thing is, he also saw ghostly handprints on Jing Xiaoming's back. This trip to the villa probably won't be peaceful, because he likes Lin Yue. And Lin Yue has a good impression of Jiang Chen. The two often had quarrels at school. But this time, Jing Xiaoming's father has unusually sponsored their class for a 2-day trip to the Jing family villa. You don't like the scenes after dinner, so let's skip to the dancing. Returning to his own home, Jiang Chen suddenly thought that tomorrow he would go to Jing Xiaoming's villa. This guy is famously known as a wealthy playboy in the class. The manpower in the underworld has always been in short supply. After a simple greeting, Jiang Chen hurried home. Sister Hong had already prepared dinner, and invited Jiang Chen to enjoy it together. They can use eerie powers to fight against eerie forces. Unfortunately, this method has severe side effects. Even when selecting mentally tough special forces soldiers, the death rate is still 90%. With such a high elimination rate, after clearing the anomalies in the hospital, he reported it on the underworld software. This time, the team wrapping things up is from the Yin Chao organization. The strength of the members of this organization has grown rapidly because they've mastered a fast-track method for letting wind ghosts possess them. The host enters the 7th disease cave. Those who enter will not come out again. However, the selected individual from the medical record only has C-level strength. This indicates that the level of the anomaly in the disease is not high. There should be no existence beyond the blood clothes. Things are getting a bit tricky. He hurriedly pulls out his phone and checks the information on the 7th ward in the map app. According to the organization's analysis, the blood on the medical record is the countdown to 0 after the conclusion. I'm not the one who's sick. It's still us. Waiting for Jiang Chen to finish reading the medical record and notice the name at the top starting to change. This medical record gradually evolves into his own name, thus causing real adverse reactions in the body. But the final comment on that medical record made Jiang Chen feel a chill down his spine. After the patient was transferred to our hospital, there was good progress. This led to her freezing to death. Based on the description, this strange curse is not hard to understand. It's about forcibly imposing cognitive impairment on others, making the host believe they are sick. It recorded a special kind of illness. It's called cognitive impairment. The patient believes they have dozens of diseases. No matter the treatment, nothing works. He once thought putting his feverish sister in the fridge would lower her temperature. Blood mixed with some filth was coughed up. After vomiting a large amount of filth, his body felt a bit better. At that moment, a medical record suddenly floated down from the sky. It had fallen from the eerie figure number 18. Before long, the time for transformation ended. A number 18 suddenly appeared on Jiang Chen's neck. At the same time, he felt a sharp pain in his stomach. Those who fall victim to it will contract all of his ailments. Even their souls cannot escape. Jiang Chen looked at the increased demon energy value on the system. He didn't expect this strange level to be less than powerful, and fired it at the eerie figure. Seeing his body unable to regenerate, 18 knew that continuing like this meant certain death. He was already prepared for mutual destruction. Thus, he turned his final wail into a curse. Jiang Qing tried using his demon energy to fight the eerie entity. Unexpectedly, with this strike, the eerie body was constantly corroded by demonic energy. For a moment, it failed to regenerate. Then, he compressed the demonic energy into the size of a bullet. The Heavenly Blade of Chaos ability mostly deals physical damage. Jiang Qing noticed that the eerie entity wasn't very afraid of this power. So, he had a sudden idea. He gathered his demon energy at the horn on his forehead. The Sandstorm of Demon Wings is a purely magical attack. The original human skin had completely vanished. In its place was a body covered in armor-like, spiky scales. The previous attacks turned out to have no effect on it at all. Jiang Chen could only dodge. While thinking of a way to deal with him, directly unleashing the divine power, the chaotic heaven knife slashed towards the strange creature. The system panel continuously displayed the progress of the ghost cry. But the anomaly seemed like an indestructible cockroach, shifting back and forth between decay and recovery. Finally, it seemed to have reached a certain critical threshold. The bizarre body began to change. After landing, the strange body quickly restored itself. The number 18 on its shoulder was particularly eye-catching. It turned out that it felt invincible because of its rapid regeneration abilities. However, Jiang Chen was not easily intimidated. He could only watch helplessly as the old man was thrown off the building. He struck out in anger. The bizarre body was cut in two, but the upper half in the air was completely unaffected. It fixed its gaze on Jiang Chen, smiling eerily. Just looking at him makes me lose my appetite. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen knew things were not good. Unfortunately, this strange being acted too quickly. Jiang Chen couldn't stop it in time. Ordinary people simply have no resistance to this demonic sound. Jiang Chen quietly followed behind him. The sound was coming from the rooftop. He heard a man muttering to himself, "What's going on? Only a filthy old man is tempting." It could clear the mind and sharpen the senses. The restlessness in my body really subsided. At this moment, an old man suddenly walked up behind me. He wobbled as he headed towards the source of the sound. No wonder there are no living people in the hospital. His body was becoming uncontrollable. He felt an urge to follow the voice. Seeing this, he quickly bit his finger. He smoothly slid it toward his lips. This was a minor skill of the Mischief Demon King Paint Demon card. Jiang Chen casually conjured a ball of fire, sending the Dr. Ghost off. At the same time, the great-grandmother, Jiang Chen, could hear faint rain by his ears. Something upstairs kept calling out. But he also noticed that the doctor was deliberately shouting. He probably expected reinforcements to arrive at the hospital. After so long, we're finally going to meet the big boss. After another brief chase, the demonic aura around the ghost was getting weaker. Seeing Jiang Chen's eerie tactics, he couldn't muster the courage to resist. Because of his extreme fear, Jiang Chen leisurely followed behind him, reaping ghost cry points. He turned around. The doctor who had just ambushed him was nowhere to be seen. At this moment, the roles of prey and hunter have reversed. Under Jiang Cheng's pursuit, he found the hidden monster in a storage room. The pressure on his heart instantly disappeared. The Earth Core Demon, the Chaos Demon King, randomly drew the ability Heaven-Splitting Blade. Jiang Cheng suddenly unleashed his power. The nearest nurse ghost was consumed by flames. His heart would likely have been crushed. Not daring to hesitate, he quickly pulled out his last remaining demonic transformation card, the Mischief Demon King. Boundless demonic power surged into his body. That he must never underestimate any of these strange beings. At this moment, he felt like his heart was being gripped by a giant hand. He was struggling to breathe. This must be the nurse ghost's killing trait. If it weren't for the demonic power protecting him, the doctor ghost quietly approached him from behind. He subdued him. Seeing this, the nurse ghost immediately delivered a heart-piercing strike. Having suffered a great loss, Jiang Chen reminded himself. He reminded Jiang Chen to wear it close to him. At first, I thought it was just a gift from a girl who liked him. But now it seems that Lin Yue, who can produce such a rare treasure, is not an ordinary person. Just when Jiang Chen was lost in thought, this is a talisman that Lin Yue gave to himself. A few days ago at school, he gave himself a talisman. He said that there have been frequent murders recently. He specifically went to a temple to pray for it. The intense impact caused Jiang Chen unbearable pain. He felt a strange sensation in his internal organs. The other side wasn't faring well either. The muscles of his hand had been completely corroded. Jiang Chen looked down, and Jiang Chen couldn't pull the blade out. Weirdly, a smile appeared on his face. My heart has long since decayed. Go ahead and die, just say it. A palm strike aimed at Jiang Chen's chest. Seizing the moment, he slashed the doctor with one stroke. Using the momentum of the plane, he thrust the blade into the nurse's chest. Something unexpected happened. A strong suction formed inside the nurse's body. The evil spirit pressed hard. The second generation of Ghost Cry. Jiang Chen felt a surge of joy. This way, he could indeed exhaust the wool. He was lying in wait at the corner. Ordinary people would have long been scared to death by this. But Jiang Chen is somewhat immune now. To create fluctuations in the eerie emotions, he snatched the container from the doctor's hands. Amidst the shocked gazes of the two ghosts, he ran around the corner. The man slowly takes off his mask. You guessed right. I was just too hungry earlier. I couldn't help but take a bite. That glass bottle actually contains an internal organ. Don't regret it after you see it. Then he slowly opens the plastic bag. He pulls out a glass container from inside. The things inside are a bit strange. It seems like something has taken a bite out of them. The one who just came in is probably another creepy one. He deliberately stirs up the emotions of the ghost beside him. Baby, what do you think he has in the bag? The man gives a sinister smile. Are you all that curious about what's inside? Just as the atmosphere was getting awkward, the elevator doors opened again. In walked a male doctor carrying a black plastic bag. Jiang Chen guessed. There probably aren't many living people left in this hospital. Jiang Chen looked at the haunted house guide talking in front of him. He directly pulled out a handful of black badges from his chest. Is this what you're talking about? The haunted house froze in place. Did they just rob the morgue? Do you know? There's a taboo in this hospital. When you come across someone with a black badge, you absolutely cannot take this elevator because only the bodies in the morgue have these black badges hanging on them. The small fry are cleared out. It's time to find the boss behind the scenes. He just entered the elevator. A nurse immediately followed him in. He turned his back to Jiang Chen and slowly began to speak and randomly draw 2 innate abilities. The host can also choose to demonize a part of the body. Similarly, after the demonization ends, you permanently retain a layer of physique and demonic power. There's a 1% chance to inherit the demonized part. The lottery machine on the panel is bouncing wildly. Upgrading costs 1,000 ghost tears for 1 draw. However, the monsters drawn are also exceptionally powerful. After the 2-star monster card of Master Lu Li is activated, you can gain part of the monster's power within half an hour. Jiang Qing finished off all the attendant demons. Although he was exhausted, he collected over 1,000 ghost tears. The system sends a prompt. Successfully unlocked the ability to draw from the 2-star monster card. Although they are numerous and powerful, each one is pitifully weak. Jiang Qing doesn't even need to use a demon card. He can easily handle them with the demonic power he inherited. After putting in quite a bit of effort, Jiang Chen sneered dismissively. You think you're worthy to question me, just because you rely on knowing people to survive? Then he charged into the lion's den, easily cutting down one ghost house after another. Attack together. All the corpses sit up from the beds. He looked at Jiang Chen with a fierce expression. We just want to survive. Why do you have to meddle in our affairs? Looks like I miscalculated. The doctor rips off his white coat, revealing his true ghoul form. Stop playing dead, everyone. Are you going to wait for him to kill you one by one? A dark aura of resentment lingered. Jiang Chen knew this was a sign of someone who had harmed others. At this moment, he no longer intended to play along. He turned the tip of the blade towards the doctor hiding nearby. I was planning to take you out while your guard was down. In the surprised gaze of the little ghost, Jiang Chen sent him to reincarnate with a single strike. The first level ghoul is dead. Ghost cry plus alcohol. After the ghoul's death, this matter cannot be faked. You haven't reached the deadline yet. Faking your death early will not only affect your family's future, but it will also be bad for your reincarnation. Now, you can only die once more to resolve this issue. He realized this thing was pathetically weak. Seeing that it posed no threat to him, Jiang Chen prepared to carry out his plan to reap the benefits. He calculates with his fingers. He pretends to be concerned. It seems that the corpses in the morgue have all turned into ghosts. The strange figure on the bed suddenly got punched for no reason, so it stopped pretending to be dead. It roared and retaliated against Jiang Chen, but as soon as they clashed, could it be that these bodies have returned? Jiang Chen took the opportunity to strike the bed beside him. Ghost energy began to rise on the system panel. As long as there are strange emotional fluctuations, he can collect ghost energy points. Jiang Chen didn't expose his identity. A person and a ghost walked deeper into the morgue. Didn't they say all the bodies had disappeared? Why are they now lying here so neatly? The doctor is scaring people on the side. He then decisively bolted the door. Is there something off about this script? The low-level corpse demon stared blankly. Ghost cry +3. It seems this one next to me isn't human either. The two had already entered the morgue. The doctor suddenly turned around and reminded Jiang Chen to close the door properly. Otherwise the cold air in the morgue would escape. Before he could even finish speaking, Jiang Chen slammed the door of the morgue shut. And their condition was exactly the same as the old man's. In the end, even the morgue manager died. If right now I were the one in charge. After saying that, I thought that was the end of it. But the old man mysteriously died that afternoon. After his body was placed in the mortuary, it disappeared. Then, as if a contagious disease had spread, several patients suddenly died one after another. And sure enough, his father was tiptoeing. He didn't dare to move. Half asleep, he dozed off. The next morning after waking up, I found my father lying in bed as if nothing had happened. So that night, he kept an eye out. He lay beside his father's bed, pretending to sleep. Around midnight, he indeed heard his father getting out of bed. He sneaked a glance. But the elderly man in the bed has been paralyzed for over 10 years. He can't possibly get out of bed. Moreover, the footprints on the ground were only on the toes. The elderly man's son has also heard some folk tales. Only those possessed by dirty spirits walk on their tiptoes. While speaking, he led Jiang Chen towards the morgue. After that patient disappeared, strange things began to happen at the hospital. At first, there were inexplicable footprints in the ICU. The director has already reported it. Jiang Chen instantly became interested. An ordinary person actually knows about the world of extraordinary individuals. The doctor then began to explain. The case of the missing corpse was reported directly by him to the director. Once he got out of the car, the usually lively street felt desolate. Inside the hospital, there were hardly any on-duty doctors. It wasn't until a doctor heard Jiang Chen inquiring about the morgue that he opened the door to speak. "You're here to handle that matter, right? The base reward is 100 points. Jiang Chen hailed a taxi. It headed straight to the hospital outside the city. On the way, the driver reminded Jiang Chen that things have been tense at Bayer Road Hospital lately. All the nurses on duty committed suicide in the stairwell, but their bodies disappeared from the morgue. The surveillance footage yielded no useful information. It could only be inferred that the bodies are still hidden in the hospital. The danger level given by the Underworld organization is Tier A. The forbidden zones for the living are countless times more terrifying than the Ghost King." After understanding this basic information, he directly searched for unresolved supernatural events on the map application. A report on a patient who was long dead caught his attention. After a critically ill patient was admitted, these are the 6 most terrifying places in the world. The danger levels range from 3S1 to S grade. This classification defines the strength of strange beings and evil spirits. The most terrifying Ghost King is only at S grade. This means that the living area will fall into chaos. Before the underworld rose, only the Tao Alliance could hold the line. In fact, it was just filling the gap with lives. One after another, strange people were sent to the restricted zone of the living. They are ruthless in their methods, and they are full of experts. This organization relied on its own strength to forcibly take over the responsibilities of the Tao Alliance. As soon as the Yin energy erupts, that's equivalent to 1.5 million renminbi. But Jiang Chen doesn't understand why there are 2 law enforcement agencies in the Qi world. Chen Shui explains to him. Originally, there was only the Tao League. But 100 years ago, the underworld organization suddenly rose to power. At this moment, Jiang Chen has over 800 ghost cries. He didn't expect to gain so much from a single ghost. He immediately opened the underworld app to register. This evil ghost directly rewarded him 150 points. In the world of the Qi people, the 2 giants, the Tao League and the underworld, have set the rate at 11 points for 1 million yuan. With a leap, he appeared in front of the mirror ghost. He poured all his remaining demonic power into this move, the crimson screen entrails. Even the mirror demon's resilient body couldn't withstand this venom. In an instant, it was reduced to a pile of bones. Open the panel. A person and a ghost began a game of chase on the street. At this moment, the situation was not favorable for Jiang Chen, because the time for the painting demon card was about to run out. He gathered all the demon power in his body to his feet. Jiang Chen didn't gain any advantage. The ghost of the mirror's body became incredibly tough, even causing cracks to appear on the demon-powered sword. The mirror ghost sensed that this person was not easy to deal with, so it prepared to leave first. Even this can't kill him. At this moment, wisps of green smoke started rising from the remains of the ghost of restraint. Wings began to form on his back. He charged at Jiang Chen once more, but this time in the fight. At this moment, the bound ghost, caught in the python's constriction, couldn't break free. With a soft sound, poof, the bound ghost's body was crushed and torn apart. Yet, the system panel did not register a kill, as expected of a top-tier malicious ghost. This move is called Twin Python Power. Just as he finished speaking, another giant python had appeared behind the mirror ghost at some point. Beasts naturally prey on ghostly creatures. They possess an innate bloodline suppression. Twin Python Power activated. The red snake surged forward, but unfortunately, it was too slow. Dodged by mirror ghost with a sidestep. Jiang Chen smiled slightly. At this moment, the scales around Jiang Chen's eyes are slowly fading. Fortunately, at the last moment, he attached the crimson scale armor to his eyes. Taking advantage of the mirror ghost's carelessness, he secretly at his fingertips. Innate divine ability. Chen Shui, beside him, was very experienced, covering the little boy's eyes, quickly retreating. But on the other side, Jiang Chen is in grave danger. The large hand of the mirror ghost has already grasped his skull. Caught off guard, he was seized by the ghost, which used the opportunity to cast an illusion. In an instant, Jiang Chen felt the world spinning. His eyes drooped, as if he'd already fallen into the illusion. However, Jiang Chen still had 20 minutes left for his transformation. He pushed his internal demon power to transform into a giant python. But the mirror ghost was incredibly strong. With a single slap, he shattered Jiang Chen's attack. He didn't expect the strength of this haunted house to be so high. Hearing such an outrageous request, the woman finally realized that Jiang Chen was playing with him. In a fit of rage, she revealed her true form as a forbidden ghost. Chen Shui sensed that this was a top-tier evil ghost and hurriedly reminded him, Jiang Chen will eat it all. Due to the ghost's nausea, the ghost's energy keeps fluctuating. In the end, he lifts up the child and has the woman coat herself in breadcrumbs to deep fry. After confirming the target, he began frantically feeding the forbidden spirit gourmet food. What is the burst lamb I cooked to medium rare? The steamed lamb kidney cooked to medium. As long as a woman can make it. The woman was immediately disgusted. The forbidden spirit felt nauseated. Spirits cry +20. Looking at the numbers popping up on the system panel, Jiang Chen immediately discerned that the woman was a spirit. I'll make it for you. Thank you for your trouble. Make a strawberry and pig kidney stew. Don't wash the pig kidneys too clean. I just love that taste. The woman smiled smugly. What's wrong? Are you two not enjoying it? Jiang Chen grinned. Yeah, it looks too plain. So what do you like to eat? Cold sweat instantly broke out. Didn't the little boy just say his mom doesn't cook anymore? When the two walked to the dining table, a visual feast of words appeared before their eyes. One dish had braised pork and bugs, making Jiang Chen exclaim that even death row inmates wouldn't dare eat like this. The ghost will take over a person's body. The two went to the bathroom to investigate. The mirror had already been taken down. At that moment, the little boy's mother suddenly called from the living room that dinner was ready. Comrades, stay and eat with us. Chen Shui looked at Jiang Chen in confusion. Who among the two of them was the ghost? Jiang Chen did not answer directly. Instead, he talked about an urban legend that says if you peel a whole apple in front of a mirror at midnight and don't break the mirror. From that day on, Mom never cooked for me again. I could only go downstairs and ask friends for leftovers. I would hide in a corner and eat before going home. After hearing the boy's story, but then something strange happened. The mom outside the mirror was eating the apple. The mom in the mirror was still washing her hair. I was so scared that I immediately ran back inside. I didn't know what happened after that. He peeled the apple skin really long. Not a single break in it. He excitedly ran to the sink to show Mom. At that moment, the clock next to me just struck 12. Mom suddenly lifted her wet head and took the apple from Dad. She's not my mom anymore. That night, Mom was washing her hair in the sink. She told Dad she wanted an apple. That night, Dad was really impressive. What does that mean? There's a family photo hanging outside. That's your mom, right? The boy seemed to have thought of something terrifying. I'm telling the truth. Chen Shui, in a pinched voice, said, don't be afraid. Little brother, we're your mom's friends. We came to check on you. The boy, a little surprised, said, the woman outside. She's not my mom. The woman suddenly spoke from behind them. My son won't come out. Maybe you should go in. Inside the bedroom, a little boy was intently looking at the comic book in his hands. Looking at two strangers he didn't know. He asked, what are you here for? At this moment, Chen Shui recalled a rumor about this building. Besides the disfigured ghost, many people had also seen a little boy squatting in the corner eating something. Could this be the friend mentioned by the little girl downstairs? Just as the two felt uneasy, the woman immediately shows a frightened expression. No. There's also my son. Can you call him out to chat? The woman is very cooperative. She turns and walks toward the inner room, requesting the woman to cooperate with the investigation of a violent incident. A musty smell lingered in the room. The family photo on the wall indicates that this is a family of 3, but there are no signs of a child or father in the house. Jiang Chen asks if you are the only one in this house. The two followed the ghostly cries to an apartment on the 3rd floor. A woman opened the door. Faced with the visit from strangers, she remained unusually indifferent. Chen Shui transformed her phone into a police badge. Points are the currency of the extraordinary world. Then his tone became serious. Let's talk outside. There's still a ghost hiding in this building. Just as Jiang Chen learned there was a second ghost in the building, she immediately showed a creepy smile. The former focuses on gathering extraordinary people and unusual events. The underworld places great importance on its own cultivation system, and this app was jointly developed by them. You can take a picture of the corpse after dealing with a ghost, report it to the underworld and earn points. So he took out his phone to clarify things for you. There's an app called Underworld. This is something all extraordinary people use. In this day and age, the Tao Alliance and the Underworld are the two biggest forces. The disfigured ghost dies, her wailing stops, and Chen Shui, who just smashed open the door, realizes the threat has been dealt with by you. It was only then that he knew that you were also a powerful and extraordinary person. I just feel like I'm showing off my skills in front of an expert. However, he noticed that you don't seem to understand the extraordinary people. I didn't expect that even after using the flower demon card, I could still get my skin cut by a dagger. This just shows how powerful this weapon is. Then, you slashed at the female ghost, permanently solving her disfigurement problem, easily breaking free from the ghost woman's grasp. Your body became covered in the red python scales. For a moment, you could block the ghost woman's blades with your bare hands, relying on the scales for protection. You snatched the ghost woman's dagger. The dagger is inching closer to your throat. You know if you keep playing, you'll lose your life. So you decisively used the red python scarf's demon card, randomly drawing the power of the mystical python. At that moment, you felt the distance from Wan Jin deepen. She didn't expect that even as a ghost, she could still be teased. But doing this is extremely dangerous. Your limbs are restraining each other, but the female ghost still has a sharp blade in her mouth. In Chen Shui's shocked gaze, you lift the female ghost and run towards the room. You keep teasing the female ghost with your words. She instantly becomes scared. The female ghost's emotions fluctuate wildly. Now, he only has strength for this one strike. The female ghost on the other side picks up the weapon again. She launches another attack on the two of them. You haven't forgotten the purpose of your visit here. You grip the female ghost's wrist with one hand, expansively cultivating through calamities. No divine powers are righteous. Chen Shui's golden light talisman flung the female ghost several meters away. He himself was also hit by the shockwave. The previous spell had drained his inner energy, but he clearly underestimated the intelligence of this haunted house. A thick mass of hair hung down from the ceiling. The battle was about to begin. Heaven and earth, mysterious origin, the root of all energy. Her name is Chen Shui. She specializes in dealing with paranormal events. People like her are called quirks. She told you to hurry up and follow. That disfigured ghost could wander back at any moment. And the sound of something scraping against the wall. Where are you? Answer me quickly. Am I beautiful? Until the voice faded on this floor, the girl kicked the door open and walked out. The girl told you. He told you. The talisman can only mask the life force of the living. If you don't want to die, then don't make a sound. Before long, footsteps echoed in the hallway. He grabbed you and turned to run. It felt like something terrifying was chasing behind. Breathless, he led you to hide in the utility shaft at the end of the corridor. He pressed his fingers together and drew out a talisman from his chest. Before I could react, another girl crashed into my arms. Fortunately, she was still alive, though she had a minor abrasion on her shoulder. The girl didn't expect to run into anyone alive in the hallway at this hour. Interesting, you realize. It seems that each strange occurrence has a unique trigger mechanism. The previous knocking ghost was triggered by opening the door, leading to the murder rules. Just as I reached the stairwell, a disfigured corpse fell from above. Just say nothing and run away. Because if you say she's not beautiful, that woman will go crazy and hack you to death. If you answer that she is beautiful, she will make your face as beautiful as hers. And told you to leave immediately. You didn't get the information you wanted on this floor. You planned to go up a few more floors to ask. But at this moment, the old lady behind you suddenly opens the door and warns you. If someone in the hallway asks you, am I beautiful? This girl was already dead before the murder case in the community occurred. Online rumors say she was murdered after being disfigured. The disfigurement case in the community is likely caused by her becoming a vengeful spirit. Sure enough, when the old lady heard this name, she quickly said she didn't know her. Just as you were terrified, the head of the household appeared. Young man, what are you doing in our building so late at night? You started asking him about someone named Zhang Mimi. The little girl's tone was mixed with impatience. My friend was just here. As soon as you showed up, he got scared and ran away. With a whoosh, it seemed like a sound of extinguishing echoed in your ears. In the empty corridor, a little girl was staring out through the burglar bars of her home. You were puzzled, little sister. Why are you watching the hallway while eating? Go away, you're scaring my friend. Friend? But there's nothing in the hallway. You now possess 2 monster cards, Fox Python and Worldly Demon King. The atmosphere in the community is heavy with malevolence. You wonder if these 2 cards will be enough. You choose the unit building with the strongest malevolent energy. Picked up and went up. All the deceased were disfigured. The killer seems to have an obsession with disfigurement. Under the cover of night, you head to the community where the incident occurred. All the ghostly essence you've gathered is used for drawing cards. Have a clear objective. You just need to actively seek out the strange. Then you can continuously reap cunning rewards. You said set your first target in a community on Tianfu Road. 3 residents died overnight in the community. You can temporarily gain the power of a demon beast to fight against evil. Most importantly, when the duration ends, you will permanently gain the physique and power of a demon beast. Next, recently, homicides have been occurring frequently. A phenomenon known as the bizarre is gradually reviving, and the system that suddenly appears in your mind is even more exaggerated. It can absorb the emotional fluctuations of the bizarre to gain cunning. Every 100 ghost cry points allows you to draw a demon card. After learning that the entire building you live in belongs to Sister Hong, you put away your wicked thoughts. You realize your stomach problem is acting up again, but now is not the time to think about that. After saying goodbye to Sister Hong, you start gathering information online. She thought you had encountered an accident after leading away the knocking ghost. Then you leaned in close to Hongjie's ear and gently said what happened tonight. You must survive. To thank you for saving his life, he directly takes out a stack of property deeds for you to choose from. Knocking ghost death. Devil May Cry plus 99. Then you hurried back to the room without stopping. Hongjie must not have any issues. After all, this is the prey you've been eyeing for a long time. Hongjie was also very surprised to see you. Your entire body is filled with the power of the tiger demon. Facing the female ghost's rapidly approaching strike, you unhesitatingly unleashed the tiger demon's divine ability, Sanhu's roar. The female ghost is shattered into pieces by your roar. The system prompts are coming one after another, and randomly draw one supernatural ability. And after the transformation into a demon ends, you can permanently retain 10% of your physical strength and demonic power. There's a 1% chance to permanently inherit one divine ability of the demon beast. At this moment, a fierce wind rises on the rooftop. It seems that simple physical harm cannot deal with this female ghost. You have no choice but to take out the flower demon card you just obtained. At the moment of use, a fog arises in your heart. After activating the flower demon card, you can gain part of the beast's power for half an hour, and you earned a chance to draw a flower demon card. At this moment, the ghost woman downstairs realized she was already dead, and you, as the first human to dare to toy with her, will undoubtedly pay a bloody price. Sister, you go first. I'll stay to block the evil spirit in the mirror. For a moment, the ghost woman's mind went blank. Suddenly, subtitles appeared on the system panel in front of you. Trick the knocking ghost into jumping off the building. Ghost aura plus 30. You told her not to be afraid, saying sweet nothings like, brother will protect you. Once you reached the rooftop, you made a heartfelt confession to the female ghost. Then you suddenly pushed her hard. When he saw the terrifying ghost face in the mirror, he still hadn't realized that this is what he looks like now. The female ghost was startled. She suddenly lunged into your arms. You seized the opportunity to pull her and run to the rooftop. You fly into a rage. The red sister across from you was already marked as your prey. How could you allow someone else to strike first? So you ignored the woman's strange behavior and forcibly opened the door. She tells you not to leave the house, because what's outside might not be human. Then she sends another message, saying she can't hold on much longer. That woman is about to come in. Her arms are pale. Strange behavior. It sends a chill down your spine. You're about to pick up your phone and call the police, when you get a message from Sister Hong across the street. Who could be knocking at the door? You know there's a charming woman in her 20s living across the hall. She's quite captivating. So, you curiously lean over to the peephole to look outside. Outside, there's a woman in a floral long dress with her back to you. You are pondering, when suddenly someone knocked on your neighbor's door. You glanced at the time. It's 1:30 a.m. It's so late. He's a perverted killer. But you saw even more perverted news on TV. Several horrific murder cases left you deep in thought, because you know very well that those cases are not your methods.